What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're gonna be looking at a 60 big blind pot. It's gonna be cutoff open, small blind three bets, cutoff calls. So this here is the three bet range from the small blind. So pocket eight or better. Very thin hand.
13%.
Yeah,
I thought it would be bit. I thought it would be wider, honestly. I thought it'd be closer to 17, but okay.
well, at this depth, it's 13, 12%. And this
It's
here.
nice because a lot of
Suited.
our good medium hands, like goodish hands are flatting a lot there, like king, queen, ace.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And then this is what the cutoff defends with.
Let's see, 60.
So king
One.
three.
King three,
and
huh?
A lot of stuff here.
So yeah, that's exactly what poker coaching has, 12.3.
Sure. So. What is the play here?
I think we attack miss C bets 1/3 pot a lot when we have a piece of the board.
Yeah. Do we size up or just a bet small?
I think we mostly bet small, but I've been wrong many times in my life.
I think we size up because of how coordinated it is.
I'd be worried about the two spades, so I wouldn't want to give him a cheap spade.
I imagine when they check, we'll do a lot of betting.
Yeah, we
It was
bet a
either
lot,
checking or
but
betting small.
the problem with betting big is they have some slow plays, like they should check raise at some frequency, their spades and their overpairs, and we're just shoveling money in behind when that happens.
Yeah, I think I looked, no, I don't have this. I feel like the small blind is gonna check around 30%.
Or
Decent
more.
amount of checks, yeah, maybe even 40.
Or more, yeah.
Say what?
I guess not. This is the small blind range.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, it's close to,
Interesting.
it's over 25% probably. You got some big ones here.
Yeah.
It's at least 20%.
King queen is good for the small blind somehow.
Yeah, of course.
it's a three bet pot, so everything is good for the small blind. Low connected is bad.
And monotone. Yep.
Okay.
Alright. So this is low and connected.
I wanna check this. I wanna check fold.
Check fold, yeah.
Yeah, just get out of the way. Villain has more or less the nuts.
Did it like the small blind on that flushy board previous then, the small bet, or did it like the big sizing?
No, it was.
No, it was
checking
check
or betting
50,
small.
check 50, small bet 50.
Okay,
Cause yeah, on those, they know that we have a range advantage there, or at least that we have a neutralized their range advantage, so they know we're gonna bet a lot, and then they respond to that by check raising a lot.
okay.
I think we just
Rip
caught
it,
the
Louis.
position with this hand. We blocked spades, we got the nuts.
But
Although
then
I
if
think-
a bad card comes like a nine or a spade.
I think
There's
with
too many
bottom
spade
set,
cards.
I think we can just get it in.
I'm going
Like-
for
Same
it,
here.
no matter what.
I'd be more liable to call
Him.
top set, but he has so much like top pair plus drawy stuff, I can get it in.
Probably if you have two spades anyway.
Oof.
Calling
Call,
pure.
Alright, but it's pretty
I
small.
mean,
It's two
we're just-
chips.
We're nutted,
Fine.
like, and we're nutted and in position, so like we always get to at least put it in on the turn if he checks. And we want to. We're the river.
Let's check ace queen.
Bet small.
Yeah, we need to bet here.
I don't think we. Ugh. Ugh.
Did it like the rip? Did the solver like the rip on that last hand
Actually,
then?
bet small
No.
again.
No, the
Right.
rip on the last hand was two chips worse. You're supposed to just flat.
Yeah. it's
Okay.
supposed to call.
Just cool down.
Just bet small again, I think.
Your check on this turn.
As played, I think we,
Stuff it.
I don't
No.
know, like
Bet small or
bluff
check.
catching. Bluff catching almost makes sense here, like, I almost wanna let them go at it with like one spade hands.
I would bet small.
Mixing, betting small and checking.
Yeah, I think we dodged some bullets, playing that hand aggressively.
Fold.
So our three bet from the small blind is concentrated around tens, jacks, mostly.
Hmm. No.
Yeah, a little
Okay.
bit, like nines plus,
Tens, jacks,
eights
not so
plus.
much. Tens and nines, huh?
I'm not sure what to do with this hand,
Tens
honestly,
mostly.
here.
Tens.
And like aces
But I
and
don't know what to do. I
kings.
usually just bet small.
Ish,
King here.
Just
checking.
checking, yeah. I mean, it felt bad. Betting felt bad.
I think you want a piece of this. I think you want a pair or a spade.
I would check now.
Yeah, we picked up showdown value. Of some kind.
Hmm. Check.
I'm checking. I mean, we screwed up the flop too, so it might change everything, but just call.
Wanna call here? I'm always folding.
I'm not folding. Can't fold.
Why not?
Yeah,
It's too small of a
he
bet.
just should have so much crap. Like, he can bet small here with like queen ten with a single spade, jack ten with a single spade, like. There's hands we
We
beat.
can't fold a
And-
pair.
Another
We
thing,
can't fold a
the,
pair.
another thing the solver does is when we go, oh no, that's different. Never mind. I'm in a different, concept. Check raise, check.
Like, shouldn't he have like, yeah, like some Broadway draws with a single spade kind of hands here?
I mean, I'm not folding. Sucks out of position, but I mean,
Oh, need to
Never
go all
check.
in on this river.
that's insane. We screwed the flop up. That's why probably. Run through it, how we were supposed to play it. Check. And see how we're
Actually, I
actually
think
supposed
that's,
to play.
I'd love to see that, yeah.
Let's see how we're supposed to play it correctly.
The thing
bet
is,
we
I
just
don't.
We might check call a small bet, or we might just check fold.
The ace of spades is bad to be on board for us as the three.
Yeah,
If it was like jack high or queen high, we have all suited.
They're checking back a lot.
okay, so he's gonna stab with ace jack of, ace jack suited some. He's gonna bet 30 at least some. And we just fold king ten.
Unless we have a spade.
Yeah, just get out of the way.
So now hold on,
Easy.
now go check and put the 10 up and see, do we bet or check?
That's a great question.
We probably check because he still has lots of aces in his range that he's checking.
Mixing.
Mostly
We
bet.
find some bets. That makes sense. After check, his weight range is weak. We can get called by like eights with the eight of spades or something, right?
I would call here.
Seems like an okay call. I think you might raise sometimes.
I don't know what to do.
I'm folding.
It's
Not
never
the craziest fold. It's a thin call. But like, note that we were behind, so it's not crazy.
Did it ever fold? Nope.
Feels bad.
No,
when there's a
but the-
Jack and an
but the
ace out
calls-
there.
But the call's worth 2 chips, so like, yeah.
Yeah,
whatever.
I think we called
mean, like-
because we blocked the flush.
we
I'm
block a
sure we
lot
did
of
that.
bluffs. We block a lot of bluffs and like, even if we hit a king or a queen, or do we know we're good? Like, we kind of draw into a straight.
Exactly,
Mm.
yep.
Can I just say that, obviously, you know, we're in position a lot in these spots where it's a free bet pot. Are we just checking a lot more? Obviously because of the SPR as well, right?
No, we're actually
Yeah, I
up.
mean, you have some hands that want to realize, that are afraid of getting blown off equity, like gut shots. Can be like that, flush draws can be like that, like SPRs.
So
of
that's why we
3.
would just check call in there, right? On the flop.
Sometimes exactly, like you start with those overs and a gut shot. If you had an SPR of like 15, like in a 100 big blind spot, you might find some check raises and then barrel. It's a very different,
But
very
because
different
we're
way
at
to use the
60,
hand.
we're trying to realize more.
Yeah,
The lower the SPR, the more we check, isn't it?
I would check here.
yeah, we can check this turn.
Would check here as well.
Kind of it's a check bluff catch, right?
No, it
Oh,
bets
no, we need to,
bunch.
are we betting for value or for,
Yes, we are.
I guess, yeah, if the expectation is 107 when we bet, then we're betting for value.
Protection slash value.
I think we call the half pot.
From the flush.
Not bad. Yeah, it's a call or a raise.
The raise.
I don't like raising here.
Seems kind of wild against population. Call?
Big bet, just call.
Maybe I
Yeah,
just
call.
I raise here.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's really bad.
He's polarized.
Yeah,
Plus,
man,
we
you need
want to
to-
still keep him in with his bluffs, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you need to raise from the top of your range, Louis, not the middle.
Maybe it's
Raise
more
like-
of a marginal.
Maybe you can raise king, queen.
Don't have
Maybe.
any raises here.
He's
Yeah.
polarized. We're in
Maybe.
position. We're happy to call. with our
Because of the
bad
SPR
hands.
again, right? We're just calling off, right?
Yeah, pure calls.
Yep. And I think it's a problem that we don't have ace king at any frequency,
on.
so it's hard to build a robust raising range. And I guess it's dry enough that the sets are willing to just wait for the turn to make their move.
Pull that up and. We did check call. Alright, I'm just curious what happens if he blasts turn, if I guess we just got, do we go broker? Do we ever fold anything like a king?
I
ever?
think I think in solver land, we might start folding eventually, but, yeah. It's gonna call it down a lot, especially while that flush draw is still out there. Those are his bluffs and we beat his bluffs.
Mm-hmm.
So Louis, you were just looking at that response to 65. We
Yeah,
basically just call versus, all those like ace high, king high stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Mostly,
We
mostly.
Almost never raise on the flop at
The-
this position.
Well, the raises we have are like jack high, 10 high, low connected, low suited. Yeah. Stuff where we could
So
actually have
here-
some nuts.
So here now he's checked, right?
Yeah, I'd bet it.
So. Against. With that. Almost never raise. When we do, it's all in. And. We need.
Huh.
Like.
Tag the hole.
Jack. And board. Go in. Okay. Then against a small bet,
I'm also curious how often small blind's gonna have like check jams. What's the SPR? Small, it's gotta be pretty small, right? 3 or something?
Yeah, you see those,
2.8.
Yeah,
just a bit big, right?
Hmm.
I think they have
Whoa.
check jams with stuff like jacks and queens on like somewhat connected stuff, like 10, 9, 5 or something. I feel like check jams start to show up there.
Is this more of a check to let him bet again, or like with top pair, we can bet now?
I think we probably just check and we call off anything on the river, or we jam if we checks it to us again, right?
I bet.
I don't like giving free cards to.
What at
I'd
this
bet-
SPR though, Nathan? It's not too bad, right?
I'd bet small and call.
I'm betting here.
Me too.
I think I can see it both ways.
Yeah, so mostly bet small.
Yeah, bet small. Pretty common, like win check two, you bet if you have a piece.
interesting hand for
common.
him to polarize.
And it like the small bet, yeah.
Yeah.
He loves the small bet, loves the small bet.
And did we bet our draws and stuff when we're in position? When check two?
Is this gonna be a big bet? Maybe a blast?
Yeah, this one, the next one feels like blast, but
I think we're gonna see bet like 55, 60% when it checks to us.
what do you guys think are,
Our best we're checking and
do we have 10-9? 10-9 is a sweet bet on, you know, king 8-6.
our ace high sign. Ace high draws.
I'm gonna say like 55% C bet when they check.
And then Louis, we check with some of our weaker king X's and ace X's there, is that right?
Yeah,
Including spades?
on spades,
Or no, there's
yeah.
no king X of spades,
Like
but
the
check with
nut-
ace X.
The nut draw is still playing a lot. The worst spades are betting, but these are just pair of eights, right?
And then yeah, our single pairs of eights are mostly betting. We don't really have sixes. Okay.
I would see that here.
This isn't a horrible check. It's that's a board that's gonna connect super good with cutoff's calling range.
Yeah, it's a good check, I'm sure. Nope,
How
Bet
often
small.
it hardly ever checks. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, like we have two overs, a gut shot, open ended, all the sets, right?
True.
Like it's I'm surprised it's not a really big bet.
And Jack 10
Kinda-
is somehow good for us. For
Yeah,
the
I was just gonna say 10 jack boards, we rip a lot of the time over bet pot, right?
Yep.
Maybe
even
the
the
solver
9.
likes ripping this flop.
Yeah, I think if you look at the range advantage, we're just gonna have a massive range advantage here.
Hmm.
No big betting going on here.
LP, you're gonna love this.
Yep.
This is a Louis flop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
bet
we bet range,
at range.
small.
say what, Ken?
Never mind. I don't wanna interrupt this. It was a one big blind thing that I used on a guy twice. The second time he spazzed. I had kings both times.
But when we spoke before about ripping on this type of flop though, Louis, obviously we were at a shallower stack depth, right? We were on 40 bigs before, right?
Yeah, it was a different scenario.
Right.
Yeah, I think it
Pretty
was
sure we was on 40.
early position against cutoff, 3-bet.
Yeah,
So like, I would have bet like ace queen here every time, but I thought ace king would be a check. I thought you wanted like the straight connected straight draw here. to see
well,
bet
when
on
we
that.
play a 3-bet pot and we wanna construct a checking range, ace king is very often gonna be a great candidate. So that's why I went with a little check, but it's just my range betting. Now, should we correct our mistake and bet?
He's kind of capped. Tens,
Now you can't. Now what?
A key card pairs for us for our range. We size up 104.
I'm just showing down my hand or folding.
This is how we would have played a 10, no? We bet now.
We would have played a 10 this way, probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have some tens this way. I'm just not like, what are our best bluffs here? A queen is pretty nice,
Yeah,
right? A king is nice,
queen
but
and eight.
ace king is kind of weird because we want to bluff him off the next best hand if we're bluffing. So we want to bluff him off like what, his pocket sevens, which we can do. We can get him off sevens.
I think having clubs on our range is probably good here too,
Feels bad, honestly.
our bluffing range.
I wanna check.
Having clubs, because then we unblock all his backdoors. Is that your idea?
Yeah,
Think we have worst part of our range that can bet.
Do you
I'm
think that
between.
pre-flop he jams? Do you think pre-flop he jams jacks and tens?
I mean, if
On
we
us
bluff
at
this, I
60.
think it's
No,
super
we have to
small. I
call.
think it's like a thin value bet slash. Like bluff.
We did bet once already.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
this is the
checking,
bluff.
but
This is the bluff to make him fold a 9 and maybe fold a jack.
Jack is never folding.
He's not folding Jack. Yeah, I think.
He's not folding a 9 either.
Then it's
Is
a
he is he full bet? Is he full betting those hands, tens and jacks pre-flop? Do you think at this stack at 60? Is he
No.
jamming us up with 60 bigs with tens and jacks?
so like, can we get called by ace queen if we bet super small, right? Like,
That's
so I mean, it might be
That's
like a super,
ambitious.
super thin value slash bluff, like, does under pairs fold?
Yeah, if you go 104 there, I bet he folds that 9.
He's betting 160.
Yeah, we need to
Wow.
go pot if we wanna do something.
Oh, I fucked up.
I wanna call here.
No, without a spade, I'm folding.
Have a pair.
No, you have a gut, you have a direct gut shot.
Yeah,
we
I'm
have
not,
called
I'm
one.
not,
It's the
I'm
biggest
Oh,
bet.
it's a big right.
But
No, you gotta call one.
I'm out.
I think you've got to drill one, and there it is.
Yeah.
We're calling.
Easy call.
Yeah, just call.
Ship it.
Easy breezy.
Do we ever?
Louis.
We buzzed by the flop. What was our folding frequency on that flop?
Well, let me make one more comment. I'm not defending 7-5 suited versus a 3-bet.
Yeah, right.
I don't
So-
find it. I don't find it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm doing
I
6.
think that's a bad idea. Like, if you wanna hold the bottom of your range here, sure it's good.
9-6.
9-6.
Okay, so it's never a fold. It's sometimes a raise.
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Not in my range.
Two pair.
But
look
if
at
you
this,
have
good
it,
call.
if you have it, I can see it. Like 7-5, you have pretty robust equity. You have like 2, 5, 9 outs that are pretty
Yeah.
clean.
Yep.
Seems good.
Yep. I feel like I'm spewing when I'm in that hand.
I feel like I'm spewing when I'm in every hand.
Can you guys hear me or not?
Yes.
Now we
Yeah,
can.
you,
again.
yeah, you sound good.
Alright,
You sound great.
yeah, okay. It's just weird.
Surprising
Normally like
that-
there's a green line around me.
In almost all of the scenarios we looked at, like very strong hands, 9s, 6, 5, 9, 6, 6, 5. All the strong hands are never raising, basically.
Yeah, when he's polarizing though, he's telling you he's got, he's got a lot of bluffs and he's got some strong hands. So just, bluff catch him, right? Keep him bluffing.
What about this one?
We should probably just bet small, right? And then we're done with the hand.
Yeah,
Nothing-
we do really like the king high board. It's one of our best boards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes
He
me
ain't
think
got
about
ace
betting
king.
30.
so-
And we've got the back door.
That makes, we don't have, oh yeah, the backdoor straight.
One of
It's
our
like,
worst
it's
hands.
10. Oh, we go for it.
Size
It's
up.
in there. Yeah, we just love the king high boards. I was just studying this in cash today.
Yeah, you guys know, right, that in 3-bet pots, the best card for the 3-better is always the king.
And not the ace.
The ace is second,
Exactly.
but
And the
usually.
king is like a lot better.
The ace is like, both players usually have a ton of aces in range. Why would we polarize so much on this texture?
I think it's kind of like this is kind of junky.
We don't want them to continue backdoors probably, because for one, we don't have any backdoors. Maybe that's something to do with it.
I mean, Louis, I can see a little bit of a pattern in that some of our big bets are wrapped around the 8 and the 6. Like we bet with ace 7 big, but we don't really with ace queen, ace jack less.
Which size do we use if we have backdoor flush on this? Do we use the large size as well? Or do we start using the smaller size?
It's mostly betting big with the backdoor flush to the high
Okay.
card. Whereas, is this more?
It's just a little bit less, but still a lot. Pretty similar.
So we're saying it looks a pot bet with this type of hand, basically. Polarize it.
We're trying to figure out why on this texture we are sizing up.
Because the king.
Can
I
you look
suppose,
at,
right?
can you look at equity? That might be a key.
We have
Pretty
more
low.
equity, a lot more.
But with
Well,
this hand, it's pretty darn low, right?
3-bet pots, equities are gonna probably, this is probably gonna be about the biggest advantage you're gonna have, I would think, in a 3-bet pot, because both ranges are pretty tight.
But I don't think it's that we're pushing a range equity. I think this hand is such a low equity that it makes a decent bluff.
Right.
Like,
What if
like
it
Louis, can you hover
was-
over this hand's equity?
I think it has to do with the two low cards on the king. What if it was like king? King 9 deuce, would it play the same?
No. No, I think it's because it's, if interaction with the 8 and the 6. We block hands. They don't have tons of 8s and 6s, but we block hands like 8, 7 and 7, 6.
And 7-5.
Yeah, right. No, to be fair, which is a good hand anyway.
Right, it's a
You know.
great hand here, right?
Yeah, it's a great hand. It's not a made hand, but it's a good hand.
So a lot less polarization on king 9 deuce. What
Yeah.
about king 8, 9? 9, 8 with a flush draw.
So
Ah,
our bluffs on king 8, 6 have the things that we have to choose as bluffs have very little have very low equity. don't have-
on
because we
king
don't
8,
have any-
6, we are range betting.
But
We're
it's
not
also
really
true, we have,
choosing bluffs or anything. We're just,
No, that's what I mean. We're trying to figure out why we bet large, and here, my observation in the difference between the king 8, 6 and the king 9 deuce was when we bluff on king 8, 6, the only back doors that we have, the only bluffs that we have, the only draws we have, not bluffs, the only draws we have are backdoor flushes and over.
And backdoor
and
straights.
ace highs. We
Straight.
don't have the backdoor straights, yeah, really, really weak.
Yep.
Whereas our opponent has some decent straight draws that we can't have.
Plus backdoor flush draws because we have the 7, the 7
Yeah.
of.
On the other hand, he can't have any of the backdoor straights. I mean, not the backdoor straights, he can't have any of the front door straights. That's a difference. Could that be what changes our betting size?
he can have front door straights. I mean, he has hands like king
On
8,
king
6, he has
on
hands
king
like,
8, 6 he can, but not on the king 9 deuce that we compared it to that doesn't have any big.
oh,
bets.
right. Yeah, right. He has no.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
he
just
has no
trying
straight
to
draw.
figure out why we have some big bets in king 8, 6 that we don't have with king 9 deuce.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's subtle, but like it is a lot more drawing, right?
I assume because it's because we
That's why
have.
There's a lot of hands. He has like Louis, does he have 10-7? Does he have
We have
9?
not advantage while he has
So
range
is it because the
advantage.
king is a key card for us and the middling card? is
Yeah,
very good for him?
exactly. We have not advantage and he has the range advantage with the 2 middling cards.
He does not have a range
So-
advantage. He does not
What?
have a range advantage.
No, but he has 2 big
Range,
key cards.
range is
right? And
50,
we have
range
one.
equity is 55 to 45. We have a pretty significant range advantage, but there are draws out there.
range and not advantage, we're out of position.
Yeah, big time.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a free bet pot though, and we
Yeah,
know,
so what
you
I'm
know,
saying
he
is, like,
hasn't
the
got ace,
king
king,
is like
queens
a-
or kings, does he?
The
He
king's
hasn't
really
got ace,
good.
king, queens or
But
kings
that's
in
enough
his
to
range.
size up already, right? Range advantage and not
So-
advantage.
LP,
Yes.
make it a
Yes
queen.
and no. We have a huge range and nut advantage on king nine deuce, but I think he struggles too much to find calls against the big bet. Whereas I think on king eight six, he has calls that come from like gut shots with backdoors and stuff, hands like 10-9, etc. And so I think we can get paid by some big bets. And also I think he has a couple more 8x and 6x, whereas like on king nine deuce, neither player has many deuce X. And
Do
so
you
it's
have
just so
que-
hard for him to hit anything.
Do you have queen 8-6?
King 9-8, we have even more of a range advantage.
Yeah. So here it's getting.
Plus we are
massive.
out of position, so
In all of them. Yeah, these are
it's a
all.
combination
Yeah.
of all these
Queen,
factors.
8-6.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like the king is a very good card for us, and then the 8 and the 6 are better for him. That's why I'm thinking we might polarize.
That's what I thought also. Which I named not
Mhm.
advantage.
Looks exactly the same.
Yep.
Looks pretty similar. Yeah, but I just want to point out that like you can't say that like there's an 8 and 6, so like defender has a range advantage because he doesn't.
Well, I
We
wasn't saying you
still
had a
have-
range advantage. I'm just saying.
No,
there's
Cap,
two
you
good
didn't. You
cards.
didn't. No, you
I
didn't.
did, I-
You
no,
said
I
it.
did.
You said it right. Yeah, yeah. But it's like it's not true
No,
that he has a
I
range
said
advantage.
it
We still
too.
have the board.
I-
We still have the board crushed.
I
But
said when we,
he
I
will
said
find
when
in
we
some
free
part of
bet-
his range, he will find some hands with good robust equity.
Don't let them get away with nonsense, Tim.
when we free
Get
bet
in
here
there.
out of position and he flat calls, he's capping his range as well. So I would say
Absolutely.
we've still got a significant range and that advantage.
Huge, huge. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
He hasn't got queens, kings, or ace king here, for example. We have.
Nope, never at 0%. Yep.
I'm checking here. Is this a mistake?
No, I think you want to continue with stuff that has some kind of interactivity with the Broadway, with the heart, something. This has nothing.
I disagree that we have range advantage on this.
Louis looked it up. It was
board, but
55-45. It's a fact. It's a number, 55-45.
It's small.
Louis showed it to us.
Not yes, but okay. Anyway.
55,
Did
45
the
is
solver
max.
like a check there then, Louis?
I think
Definitely.
once we check the turn, we have to check the river here. And
Yeah. makes
yeah,
sense.
it's not a block bet. it's not a bluff.
No.
Just
No.
bet.
We wake up and bet it.
We
as a
wake up and we
bluff.
bet for value.
Yeah.
Is that
Did
for
the did the turn go check?
So A7
Yeah.
get better. ace
Then we
five.
have
Fold.
to
We have to bet.
barrel. Yeah,
Okay.
to get better ace highs.
And
to
we
fold.
unblock, we have no hearts or,
That's true.
what was the other one? Diamond spades,
Spades.
yeah, so I think it's good
Yes,
not to have those, and we can get better aces to fold that are
Mhm.
floating.
So
Okay.
Louis, this is a bluff, right?
It doesn't mind
Yes.
ripping it on the river
That's
there,
fine.
neither does it.
I'm just, like, I don't understand what's going on with it. Right?
It's a really tough spot. It's really, I'm
Do you
probably
think it's
making
a
tons
tough,
of
do you
mistakes
think
here.
it's a tough spot? You think it's a tough spot to rip it on the river there? Knowing he hasn't got queens, kings, and ace king? I don't think it's that bad. And there's a
Yeah,
lot of
we don't
busted
rip it.
draws.
Hey, Barry,
We bet small.
The
If
thing
you
I
don't
struggle
think
with
it's
on that
that bad,
A7,
why have I never seen you doing it?
the thing I struggle with on that A7 is I think about him having a bunch of weak hands that we beat. I don't think of us trying to bluff him off Ace 10, for example, which
I don't think we
probably
got
could have
much
done there.
showdown value neither, Louis.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
you're,
you're right.
you're driving
But
the
we're in a
net
free
out
bet
of me.
pot. We bet one street already. We checked one street, you know, sometimes you just gotta give up, right?
Which
The
A7 of
solver
hearts
doesn't,
doing?
the solver doesn't give up.
No, I agree.
A7 hearts
Honestly,
checking?
No, that's why I'm saying I
The-
was wrong. So, but
not
I.
this
in
The
case I
solver
was
gives
wrong,
up at the exact right frequency.
Yeah,
honestly, if you wanna go all in with ace 7 on this turn, it feels like you have ace 4 on the Sunday Million. Feels like it's the same kind of hand.
fun
Do
central.
does anyone else like the rip on the river?
I mean,
I hate
I'm
it.
probably,
I
just-
think it's a
honestly,
punt.
I'm
No.
just giving up.
I'm
Louis,
betting big, but
what's the EV of ripping the river with a 7?
Terrible.
No.
We've
That's
got a
fine.
capped range. We've got a capped
It's
range in
fine.
a
It's
free
like the
big
same
pot.
as,
Yeah,
it's the
it's
same as, yeah, it's
better than
great. It's the
checking.
same.
The thing is,
Yeah.
we piled a lot of chips in the pot and it wants us to fight really hard to get them back.
fold here, but I don't know if it's correct.
Yeah, 100%. Smashes the board.
Definitely a bet here.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Again, we have lots of sizing up.
I would probably, like, I don't know what to do here, so I would probably bet small again, honestly.
Yeah, I'd bet again, but
I kind of think we're still betting for value almost.
the deuce is good for him because he has ace deuce.
Oh,
The deuce is a brick, that's a problem. We bet, he calls, nothing changed, we don't pick up equity.
I think a double barrel starts getting like your
Yeah, it's a
threes,
brick
fours,
motor.
5s, 6s, 7s to fold. I would think
Exactly.
At least some portion.
and like he's still calling with us with the ace X of hearts now, and right, those ace X of hearts has 25% equity, which is pretty awesome to get called by.
Like, I don't even know if 10-9 wants to keep peel here. Like unders, I don't know if like draws with an under the queen want to peel or not. Again, I don't know. I'm nitty, I would fold, so, but I don't know.
I
what
think
this
this may be a 48, but I don't know. I
I
don't think the
think,
deuce is very relevant.
Our huge draws want to bet again. So,
Of course, we're
9,
ahead of
10,
everything I'm trying to fold, so
and
now
jack
now that I
10,
think
but-
about it,
The
I
check.
was also gonna say size up.
other than the pairs, we're ahead of all the other stuff.
Mhm.
So. Mostly checks or bets bigger, okay.
So now what?
mostly checks, huh?
I would just give up.
Check. This is a really bad river for
Yeah,
our
hard.
hand.
Just
Just
fold.
fold.
Just fold.
We only lost a chip and a half. We didn't play it horribly.
And we see the turn strategy again.
Check
does he-
80, bet 20.
So he can't fold a 9, even to a pair of 9s, even to a big bet, and he has a heart. So maybe the heart does make him fold some. I doubt it, though.
It's pretty killer that the solver finds a value bet in that river with 9s.
Yeah, all the suited broadways, 9, I mean 9, 10 and Jack 10 are betting.
What are we folding when we bet small? And then what are we folding when we bet the size it chose? Why is there a queen on the?
I wanted to see what would happen if the queen pairs on the turn.
Oh, okay.
That's a big bet, that's an ace.
I'm folding.
Why is he sizing up on this texture with this hand? It's a low frequency play, but still, is he doing that just because he has the king of spade? Where's the king of spade? here? Okay, so king of spade is sizing up. So he's range betting, but when he has a card of the suit,
He can get after it.
a little bit more. Okay. I would bet small here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
probably with range.
I have to go with it. What size do we go for on the turn? I would probably bet one.
I think this is a nice. I kind of want to check call this.
I don't hate checking.
Why do you guys wanna check where the?
I wanna
aggressor-
bet small again.
Oh, no, you know what? I think a bet, wow, I mean, we're chopping a lot
value
now.
from?
Like, he doesn't have
bet
ace king,
104.
he doesn't have ace king, so we're at worst chopping with, against an ace, right?
He has ace queen.
And
Yeah,
I don't
he has
wanna
ace
bet
queen.
I don't wanna bet my aces to get him off chops. I wanna bet real bluffs to get him off chops. I wanna bet jack
Right.
10 to get him off chops.
Yeah, I think it's a good check.
On this flop, after we bet and he calls, unless we
This is
have
the check.
spade, I don't think we have much bluffs.
We can get value from worse on the river if it goes check, check. We can start getting called by worse hands, even than a queen.
Pocket tens and stuff, yeah.
You mean pocket
Yeah,
ten
I
is
mean-
gonna bet on the river?
No, we
No,
can.
we're
It
gonna,
goes check,
we're gonna
check.
get value from them. We're gonna get value from them later on.
Bets.
No, never check.
Turn,
Bet small.
Get value from like
Yeah, but they're
nines and
turn jacks,
tens
yeah.
and jacks and
Alright.
kings.
well, I have to go.
Yeah,
for it.
because most of his range is suited stuff, so
No, don't punt now. Don't go all
we
in
don't
now.
wanna
Wait,
On a
Louis, what
bump,
are you
it's a value
doing?
bet.
Yeah, don't go all in. He's got full
Give,
houses, he's got
3
flushes,
cards.
he's
You
got,
just, you just wanna check call.
he could have ace queen. Yeah, just check.
Yeah, just check now.
Okay,
100%
Yeah,
check.
and call.
You just call.
Oh, it's really thin though. It's really thin.
We checked the,
you
we
do it.
checked the
100%
call.
call.
I mean, we checked the call. We're never
Yeah.
checked. full. Right.
Alright,
Keep it simple.
alright.
Yep, and he wasn't gonna call with his sixes, but he did bluff them. It's perfect. We're the greatest poker players who ever lived.
We outplayed.
Yeah, that's, you guys played that hand pretty well. Yep.
I didn't think sixes would call a turn bet.
Because
We
they,
bet small. We bet small. Bet small
they don't
twice.
have a spade on them.
They're so healthy, LP. It's unbelievable.
I know. man.
Jack, king, tray, we have no interactivity with anything. Really bad.
Oh, this is bad.
There's no way I bet here. How did we defend with king three suited and not even get a card of the?
You
suit?
said it was in range, that's why.
It's the stone bottom of range.
Yeah, but when we defend with that, I think we deserve to get like. I'm
Yeah.
Check
Yeah.
to
Like
us.
trip threes, trip threes at a minimum.
Fortune faces the
Jesus
bear.
Hey, this is, what a great game.
What the hell, we
Call.
spat
raise
out
here.
that flop?
We're so far behind. Let's call.
Yeah, I don't wanna raise this turn. We're just behind all this value.
100%.
Yeah, we're so good
Call?
with this call.
It's a great call.
Can't fold.
Oh, what's
It's a
up with the
beautiful,
chat? What's up, guys, in the chat?
Yeah, it's having us raise that river?
At
For
some point, we have
value?
to raise
No.
either on turn or.
what,
What are we
like,
getting
I
called by?
guess. Pocket queens, I guess.
That played like that.
I always look at the next worst hand, and the next worst hand is pocket queens.
Why is he, but what? It's a weird way for him to play pocket queens.
We get called by
mean,
some jack sometimes.
Not in
Why
real
did he,
life.
but why did he play jacks like that? He didn't bet him on the flop.
I don't know.
He did, he bet small on the flop. Or no, he
No,
checked
he
him,
checked
No,
sorry.
he checked the flop. That's what I'm saying. It was just, that was,
Maybe he was checking to check raise.
I
and he wants
guess.
to balance his
Yeah,
range.
well, he's got, yeah, exactly, he's got a little mixing on basically every
Yeah,
five,
has
right?
a heavy check with this jack.
Yeah, Jack X is bad for the three better, right?
Oh, he doesn't have jacks here. I wanna bet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, betting seems good. Betting big seems good.
Betting small, betting big is wrong.
Oh,
Value.
Oh.
Very big. No, it's wrong size.
Yeah, all in. Can you
Hmm,
move the percentage screen of the bets a bit to the right so we can see the all-in equity as well? Yeah, okay, thank you. A bit to the right.
like this?
Yeah.
Or
That's
just,
right,
perfect.
yeah, or just shrink the, like the window a tiny bit, yeah,
This works.
that's good.
Okay.
Hmm,
See, I think this hand is weird to play, because it has so many different pieces going in so many different directions.
So bet 30.
I like C bet small, yeah. I mean, bet small.
Yes, I see that.
I would check here.
Yeah,
No,
Same pattern.
sort of thing.
I wanna go all in.
Sure,
Never.
check. Check to let him bluff, I guess.
And to let nines value bet. Well, I guess nines probably have bluff catches anyway.
Hi guys.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
man?
Maxi.
I have a gut shot, the backdoor flush, he bets big,
Cool.
Call.
we fold.
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, the stack equity is very, SPR is very low.
I think we
Yeah.
I think we
I think we
call,
can fold.
I think we call the big bet even with a direct backdoor. I
What's
mean, with a
wrong
direct,
with you
not
guys?
with a backdoor.
I
I
don't
think
know,
we call
man.
all the time.
Against
Why
the
do you
free
wanna
bets,
call
the
here?
free bet pot, I just wanna fold.
Definitely.
I just think our equity is so robust, like against hands like ace, king or whatever, we have like 40% equity.
Yeah,
We're
but
just
ace king
live.
checks there a lot, right?
No,
Yeah,
Or
he
at
has a
least
bunch of
bet
hands.
small.
He has a bunch of hands.
When he bets big, it's, I don't know,
I
man.
just picked one example.
See you, Barry.
Very.
yeah, it's,
So, hands like ace, king is like ace jack, he did it with ace jack, voila.
100% call, huh?
a direct draw, yeah, with a direct draw to the nuts, we call one on the small bet and the big bet. I don't know if we call a pot size bet or more.
I didn't
I
think
would
we would call,
definitely-
I didn't think we would call a gutter,
Actually,
honestly.
let's see what we do with pot size.
I would call
Yeah,
the small.
can we
bet,
see his big bet range? Just to kind of know what we're up against. So it is used a
Everything.
lot. Yeah, he's got just a bunch of ace X, he's got jack ten, he's got a bunch of junk.
Yeah, but that junk still has like massive equity against those.
Yeah, but like,
Versus the 100%
What-
bet, what did we do? With the
We're in
9-7?
position,
Or-
I guess. There's some steals. we
yeah,
can do.
exactly. We're 40%.
Yeah, we can turn some equity and then start blasting, I guess.
And like, and we have some bluffing candidates as well, like on a 4, I bet we start bluffing.
Interesting, interesting, interesting.
Now,
Really?
Louis, haven't bet 100 there.
Looks like a punt. If
We
if
need an
LP would
overcard to
call-
pull. Do we need an
LP
overcard
would
to
call
pull?
with the 9-7, a free bet, and then called on that flop in the Sunday Million, you would get so much shit.
I know, man, I know.
Louis, give him 100, having bet 100% there. Now the 9-7 does some folding.
And mixes raises, because the call is like worth nothing.
Yeah, and the 8-7 raises him before the 8-7 called.
Just bleeding money though. Doesn't matter what you do, you're bleeding money
Wow.
with the 9-6.
Feels
at
bad,
that.
man.
So I'm interested here. Do we ever, like, do we polarize without an overcard? I'm gonna say no.
Oh, but the king is so good
Right
for
back.
us. But
I'm wrong-
it was
I'm
a
wrong.
pretty,
We still do polarize.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay, king eye board, pretty good for us. We're gonna range back. Good. We pick up a queen.
it's a weird one. We're now ahead a lot, but,
check.
Yeah,
Check, definitely.
heavy check. Good.
and some bet
We
small.
go for
makes
thin
sense.
value.
We got a good blocker.
Yeah,
I'm
we-
gonna
We gotta go for value. Not even a blocker, it's just a hand.
Go like
Block.
104, and we can, yeah, can we, yeah, we, I mean, we blocked the nuts, so I think we can go 104.
No, I think we bet small because we have second pair.
Yeah, you're
We're
right.
really
think-
trying to get
I
called.
think
by
both
some
are decent.
Stuff.
What
Nope,
about checking?
check and give him a chance to bluff it.
Yeah, he can bluff his hearts when we check.
Oh, cuz hearts missed, when hearts miss.
Right, and if the flush comes in on this river, do you think we block bet more?
No, not without a heart. Without a heart, I think we're just gonna really hunker down.
Well,
Call? Call, cry call.
Why? Why do you wanna call here?
small bet.
We have a bluff catcher. We're ahead of his value. We're behind his bluffs and we, have to find, some bluff catchers. He does this with hands like king X, queen X, jack X, pocket nines. He does this with lots of stuff.
Yeah, he's range betting, so okay, I
Yeah.
guess we can call, but
Yeah, I mean,
I would
it's not a
lean
fist bump, but
towards-
it's just like,
if I think about our range here, we have plenty of ace to defend, we have like hands like jack nine of hearts that I think are gonna do better. We have like, queen ten of hearts, backdoor flush, backdoor straight. We have sets. We have pairs that actually have a heart in our hand.
Yep,
I
and
guess
it's
that
not
we have
a-
enough to defend. Since we're above the 7, I mean. And since he's range betting, I don't think we fold, but. I start to see reasons to fold here.
I bet the call's
Yeah,
worth
but
like,
they're
I
not
was gonna
enough.
say 10
It does
chips.
happen Sometimes.
Now we
So yeah,
check
it's worth,
back,
it's worth 12
Check back.
chips. That's like a,
check back, and then do we go for value here after he checks twice? He's not checking.
kinda think yes. Second pair usually wants to go for value.
He has a
when it's-
9 here. Ah,
Ooh, so we pot it?
I don't know about potting it. Maybe we can get really greedy here. Yeah, let's get greedy.
I don't even think it's that crazy. I think it's pretty. just kinda standard.
Maximum greed. No,
Blocks slash value.
Just
Check.
check.
Christ.
Oh, no. I think we're getting outplayed right now. I think we're about to fold to a bluff.
We are not gonna get outplayed. I'm sorry. We don't have a heart, so we don't block his bluffs. He's not checking an ace a lot on the turn. We have to call. I don't trust him.
He just,
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't trust him?
I don't trust him. We need to call here. Like he's not checking turn, checking river like with an ace here. Like
I
he's,
mean, I'll point out, he's
right
checking
there.
turn, checking river with the exact right frequency of aces in order to be able to do this to us. Like, he is. He is. It's a small frequency, but it's there. That's what all those slivers are, you know? It's to
there's
set 'em
no
up
way
so
I'm
he's-
folding here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
60
mean, I
bigs.
kind of agree.
Check.
I kind of
bet
agree. If you're
raise.
betting this, it's to call it off. He has bluffs in every spot too, just like his value.
Oh, but.
Oh my god.
Fold.
Fold.
We should
Yeah,
have
once you
folded.
bet.
Guys,
Just spewing today.
Damn luck box on the turn. He checks
Feels
it.
bad, man. Feels bad.
Twice.
he's like the Russians, they're never bluffing over, then they do that shit.
I would fold this on the, but
I
anyway.
would, yeah, after you bet, it's a bet fold.
No, this is not a small.
I would have played it weak on the river
It's
and I would
either-
check behind weak on the river.
Either a pot
I felt so good about it.
or a
no
big
matter how
bet
long
or
it was.
check.
There's
There's no big bets on
betting
monotone
monotone
flops.
boards.
Nope, that's
Then-
I
small.
would bet small.
That's small.
Yeah, I like, betting small's okay. I like checking too.
Yeah, but here's the thing, monotone boards usually drive up our frequency, right? And then low.
Oh,
connect-
drive down.
They drive up our check frequency. and
Yeah,
these-
Drive up
exactly.
or check. Oh, I'm sorry. I think you meant our bet frequency. I'm sorry.
So we check more on monotone and then this is a low connected.
Hmm.
So there's 2 reasons to check here. Our hand probably does not wanna check a lot.
Yeah.
Our hand is
Yeah.
never checking though.
Our range is probably checking 40-50%.
This hand bets.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
so both are good. Both are good. It
Great.
makes sense. I mean, like, we just have, like, he has such good equity against us with any one spade.
45%.
Yeah. Great turn.
We gotta check, right?
This is a check bluff catcher, check
Oh
fold,
my god.
Oh,
You can't do nothing.
check fold.
We can get him off a chop maybe.
No, no.
I can hear the
Sorry.
troll in your voice.
Oh,
You
look
can
at
get us
that.
off a chop.
We're trying to
Oh!
get him off a chop.
Oh my god.
That's so
Ridiculous.
spazzy. That's so freaking spazzy.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Just fold.
just fold.
It's mixing. Oh, like, see, he got us off a chop.
Stupid game.
They programmed
Guys
some
are-
leveling, they programmed some leveling shit in this pio.
Exactly. They listen to us talking and then they're like, aha, they're doing this.
Okay, I know what to do now with these kind of hands.
Oh,
All right.
I would raise too much here, trying to get it in against this king.
Nah, we're wrong as always.
Triple fun.
I thought I had a trick here. Thought
I
had a
think
Everything is
solid
LP, if
strategy.
I remember right, the deal is like 60, 50 big blinds and lower. We tend to fast play two pairs, still play sets. And
Yeah.
deep stack like 100 big blinds is the opposite. We tend to fast play sets and slow play two pairs. That's my rough breakdown.
It kinda is true, but we saw a couple of sims this morning that it was just like pure calling two pairs and sets. But okay,
Maybe it's because we have
So-
such robust value targets here. We have so much Broadway draws, ace, queen, ace, king, etc.
Yeah.
So I think on this board specifically, a 7, an 8, a 9, or a jack, a king, a queen is really gonna change the texture of this board. So here's one where we wanna get it in while we're ahead. It doesn't come up very often, but I think just because of how frequently the turn is gonna change, I think that's where we're going for here.
True, like 3
Yeah,
out
so-
of 4 cards
And he has tons of these cards, right? Like he's full of Broadway cards. He's full of. yeah.
changes the dynamic.
Maybe.
4 out of 5.
alright.
Yeah, like all of a sudden the board texture really changed here. And even though we're gonna be ahead a lot, he's gonna have a lot of draws that really improve their equity.
We want to keep initiative. We want to get the initiative, so we should bet, right?
Right, so we don't care about the spade at all. That's what I was.
No.
wondering. Just bet.
When the flush completes, it's okay, so we can bet. And
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, range bet small. He calls.
key card for us pairs.
Bet 104.
Yeah, that's the problem here. 104
or
makes
check.
sense. Sure,
It's
sure, sure.
104 or check. I think it's gonna split between those two.
So I should never go all in here.
No,
Unlikely, unless you have ace 4.
No all ins here, alright. No,
100%
there is
check.
some all ins. With top pair. Okay. So it was a good, no, it was a turn check.
yeah, there's a bunch of betting though too. And some sizing up.
And then now what? We check?
Hearts brick, the straight brick, all the draws mixed.
Yeah, so I think we have to check call.
And we don't block any of them, like we block some of the straights, but we don't block either flush. So yeah, I think we have an easy check call.
What would you do with your hearts if you had any?
I don't know that you have much fold equity when he's called twice.
Do
I
you
think
have
I would,
bluffs here?
I think I would check my ace high hearts and bet some worse hearts.
How would you play a 10 here?
Probably
Um,
also
I mean,
just,
ten's gonna go in for value, right? I mean, that's our value range, basically.
Okay, so busted flush draws are doing the same.
I think some busted flush draws would just check fold.
Are we turning this into a bluff?
No, we're
No.
check calling.
bluff catcher.
Bluff
Hmm.
catch,
It's gonna give him the chance to bluff either flush.
And then we just call.
Wanna call here?
Yep.
It's okay.
No.
Yeah, it's close.
It's a fold.
It's close.
We got him though.
I was thinking about what our best bluffs are there. I'm thinking about what blocks tens, stuff like queen, jack of diamonds and clubs is pretty sweet for blocking his, like queen, jack, queen, 10 combos.
We're blocking 9-10, and it's very hard.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that,
That's true. We have the similar hand. We are blocking 10 9. You're right. You're right. That's a
yeah,
similar thought.
blocking a 9 is bad because we block jack 9. We block bluffs, I
Oh.
think.
But you
May-
block 10 9 as well. Like, what are his tens?
Yeah, maybe, I'm guessing like sevens might be a better call here than nines. We don't have. Yeah, see, it rather calls with 8-7 rather than pocket nines.
Yeah, because
that's
it
not
interacts
just
with the
because-
bluffing range.
That's not just because of interacting with bluffs. It's also because it blocks his value range in the form of votes. Board cards are generally better bluff catchers because they block sets or votes in this case.
Usually at this SPR, do we wanna raise with a good top pair? My guess is that yes, but in a 3-bet pot like this, not so sure.
I don't think so. I think it's too thin.
We just smooth call it.
I would just
I think
call.
so.
Hi.
Hey.
Alright, so
Rojas.
Louis, your
Hey.
your instinct is showing up in that sliver, so it's not crazy.
Yeah,
I was thinking if we were, I was thinking it to myself. I didn't want to say it. I thought we might raise there too. But I wanted to keep my mouth shut and just see the answer.
alright, let's call.
Oh, starting to feel bad.
What do you mean? I feel awesome.
We have a 10
Oh
blocker,
my
so
Oh, we
goodness,
have to
I'm
jump.
not going for value on this river.
Yeah, you gotta go for value, right?
yeah,
I
you get called by
Gotta-
that, aren't you?
Surprised he bets 2-3s with his kings.
It's funny, ace 10 is like our worst 10 though. Because there's ace jack and then everything else is two pair.
We blocked the nut straight too, so. it's a good-
Okay,
it's
so
good
range
value.
that small, that seems fine. From the turn though,
Check call. Check call, check call.
what?
Check
was
call,
ju-
check call.
Do we
He
block
just-
that?
He
Do we
just
block
bet,
bet in these kind of scenarios?
Check.
yeah, because he just did the same with kings, which is basically the same hand.
We
right?
bet for value. What?
We bet small?
Check.
Ken wants to check. Why do you wanna check, Ken?
Cause we got second pair.
Medium made hand.
He's got
I'm
some
betting.
aces in his range still, so I'm gonna check. I'm gonna bluff catch.
Because he check raised us with his set on the turn last time, that's why. And we weren't happy, and we don't wanna do it again.
I didn't see that hand, honestly. I'm playing.
Here, check. You're right.
Yeah, that's
Check,
why.
huh?
Because of his
I think in
pocket
that spot, it's a really good indication of how much betting fades in value if you bet bigger. Like betting small, it's fine. Betting big, pretty bad.
Oh, come on, dude. 9-8. Oh, gotta get there on the river.
Just get there, Ken.
I hit the river, yeah. I mean, I had a call off. He opened jam 5 bigs with 9-8, and then he turned the 8, but I river the king.
So here we're gonna call.
Yes.
Now we bet, I think.
I like it.
We check again.
What check?
Wait, we check again? Wow, I wanna bet that.
Yeah, I think that's what I would always bet there.
I would always bet because if we check and a spade rolls
Let
out
the
on
fourth,
river, then you just gonna,
Yeah, but then he jams on you and then you have to fold.
I guess we bet. Now I'm lost.
still have not found a pattern on when to bet big on these flops. The jack pairs,
This is probably why I get lost, because I bet small and they call more hands than they would normally if I bet big, and now I get to this turn and I have no idea what to do.
I think we go just go into check call mode.
So,
I assume bet big on this on flops out of position will be on low connected. I
I think it's really
Boards.
important not to miss our big bets in the game.
or
So
no.
we don't find ourselves in these spots as often.
Do we
I think we
check
bet.
here or do we bet? I'm not
I
sure.
think we bet again. We had a draw
Oh.
before. We have a draw now.
I don't know.
So-
If we hit a spade, I'd say we could bet.
Yeah,
But
we-
if
Yeah,
we
with a
check-
spade, it'd be easy to bet, but I think we still bet. And we
Yeah,
do.
so if we bet, we size up.
Mix.
I think
Yeah.
10 high flops we bet a lot.
And jacks are good for us. But mostly tens, yes.
have to call here, right?
Yeah,
Or raise.
we'll
call.
raise.
Eee, now what?
we gotta go for value.
Look at those beautiful pictures.
Stuff it.
Look at those full houses he has out there.
It's like,
Checking on.
yeah,
the-
checking. This is something I was just looking at in the hand where my flush draw completed when I had given up the, you know, the betting lead on
Yeah,
the turn. And I don't know, is it the case that we're generally gonna be letting the last aggressive action keep going on this river?
he was
'Cause yeah,
gonna,
my
bluff.
solver marked me leading river on a similar hand with the flush as a mistake where here we led on the river. It's a bit of a
Oh,
mistake
the
with the straight.
strategy is very clear here. So that's gonna be the small blind strategy on the flop. As we see here, whenever it's 9 high or higher, we bet a lot. 10 high boards, we use the bigger size a lot. 7 high board. Are, okay, so now I want to see. Cause yeah. Alright. Very interesting strategy here. So we check very heavy on 8 or lower. From 8 to 5, we check very heavy. 8 to
Wouldn't
5.
it have to be the opposite? Or I am.
Alright,
No.
so bad boards for out of position.
Out of-
So anything above. Nine high boards. Are great.
Hmm.
8 to 5. Are terrible.
Funny that 10 high boards have big bet size, but then jack high boards have more all its.
Mm.
Yeah, you have to see what small blinds checks of 3 bets and cut off calls, and then you can see probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I do normally. I look at the ranges first and then try to guess why.
now let's see the, don't think I sent this one. I did actually, never mind.
Sorry, now you're sending it again.
No, no, no. Okay, so let's see. We bet. We bet 80% of the time on this texture and it's really about. Whether or not it's an 8 high board or less. That comes from the fact that. We don't have any 9s. We don't have much 8s. So when it comes 8 high or lower, we're really short. 7 is the worst, 6 is the worst, and we can see why.
Yeah, but imposition doesn't have them either, so it's not that clear.
He has,
He
he
has
has
more.
eights,
He has more.
very,
More, yeah.
very heavy. And he has plenty of sevens and sixes that we don't have any of.
He has also the
So
connectors,
so
so he
that-
connects very well with an 8-high board.
So that's where the problem comes from. Between here and here, ace five, suited six, suited seven.
I see also those 10 offs that he folds.
Yeah,
So 10 high board is good still.
alright, on pair boards. Alright, pair boards, we,
Yeah, range bet.
okay, so the notes. Out of position, checks 20%. Out of position, pure range bet on pair boards. On straight boards, oh, the same pattern we saw, 8 high or lower straight boards are really, really bad. 10 high are great, so anything, so the 9 is probably neutral, right? And then 10 or higher is really good for the three better. And then 8 or lower is probably really good for in position. Like say, for example, we have an ace sideboard with an 8, the 8 pairs on the turn. It's probably really, really good for out of position and really bad for us. So if anything between the 8 and the 5 comes, it's gonna be really bad for us. 8 to 5, so we can guess that. I'm not sure though if it's like, that's the other part of it. In position, let's look at in position strategy now. Hang on, let's go back quickly, monotone boards. We check half of the time on monotone boards, alright, so we do check very heavy. So the
They used
board
to
we
ruin
check the
bet those.
most.
Yeah, if you look at those straight boards, our range construction is so heavy between 9 and ace that when queen hot, particularly a middling one where it's the queen jack or the king queen 10 or something like that, we're just gonna have such a massive range advantage that we're gonna have a lot of big bets there. And that's the one that we just saw, that queen jack X board where we had ace king. And that's like that ace king has a gut shot and 2 overs, even against a guy who has a queen, and he has less queens in his range. So it's that's one where we just get to tee off.
And he probably doesn't
Right.
have sets, does he, on Queen Jack?
Maybe he has some frequency of jacks,
Has jacks, something.
yeah, but not even all the time.
Low frequency.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
he's
Low
folding.
frequency nuts, so.
He's folding
And
a lot
it-
of his suited queens, or his offsuit
Yep.
queens. So he's only
And it,
defending his suiteds.
And it card matches our aces and kings, and it blocks his best queens and jacks, like, you know, his ace, queen, ace, jack, king, queen, king, jack.
And even if he has a queen, how happy is queen 9 when we lead like pot there?
Right, and then barrel.
Yeah, and then jam the rest on the turn with our ace king and, you know,
And it's worth pointing out, like, we're 40% against even a hand like queen 9. We're just really, really not in bad shape. when
yeah.
called.
So we're probably 65% against his range.
If 10 outs need, so.
I'd be curious to see, like, equity versus range of a hand like ace, king on that queen, jack 3. It's probably really good, and I don't know, if he ever folds under pairs, then it's a pretty sweet bet, right?
Yeah, if he folds any pair that's not a queen or a jack, I mean, we're crushing him.
Right, like
Against
he
the
can call with
bottom.
every queen and jack he ever has, and we're still live, and then we fold out a bunch of stuff that's, you know, we don't like.
and there's so many dangerous turns for him. So, and I mean, we can also do that with our best queens.
What other boards, what other textures are we sizing up on? 'Cause it seems to be a fairly big part of the strategy. Or like I'm usually defaulting to small C bets.
As in position or out of position? We
Out of
decide.
position, small blind.
In draw heavy
Some of
boards,
the-
we size up almost 40%.
And some of the boards that are gonna be dynamic, like 10 high, if I remember right. Cause like your
Yeah.
overpair, like your jacks and queens, your ace 10 knows that it's pretty vulnerable, so it wants to push some equity and get some folds.
I would fold here.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe with a spade you call, but just fold.
Do we call with a spade and a three bet flop on this kind of
I
stuff?
don't think so that you call with
Now we
spade.
fold.
It's low spade.
See, no
Oh,
calling almost.
Calling but losing money.
Bottom pairs.
The range bet here?
There is
we have-
some check. There is some checking on queen high boards. So
We have a spade too. I would probably check.
the direct under pair is probably going to want to check the most.
We're still range betting on this queen eye most of the time, so. Yeah, not much checking.
Wow. I can't break this habit. And then just get like another bad card.
This is a great
but,
card for us, though.
Queen jacks, huh?
Equity
And for
wise,
this,
amazing,
I
but.
mean, some of his
also-
floats, a lot of his floats are gonna contain a jack, I think. Jack of spades.
and I mean,
especially.
the fact that this hand card matches the nuts is like pretty important.
Oh, there's not a lot of 10-9, I think, in the range, or is there?
So we
Time
size
and a
But-
half,
up,
at
but
least
like-
not.
But that's like that is our, big betting range. That's so.
size up
critical.
or check
Who's got more jacks?
I'm checking.
us?
And bet call, then I check.
I wanna check, but I think
This
it's really
is a
close.
Great turn for us, okay. Check.
Now we can.
Louis, you're right that it's a great turn for us, but I wanna bet it with other hands. I wanna bet it with queens and jacks and with bluffs. And this is it's neither of those things.
Yes, I agree.
Now we can just go for value.
Although we block some 9-10s that he might turn into a bluff. But his flush draws are gonna bluff.
So do we want to give him the chance to bluff here on the river?
Mm.
So we mostly wanna go all in with our queens there.
Small with our jacks.
Yeah, there's a lot of polarization. So we check,
Check.
Call?
Small.
we have a spade in our hand.
I hadn't seen
Oh.
it.
We
Yes.
block 9-10, so I guess it's
But we
alright.
mostly bet. Yeah.
Third
call.
pair, out
And
pocket,
this sizing, like this sizing is just not huge. We need a call with a lot.
yeah. All or raise.
Ah! Ace.
Yeah, he got us for about as much as we could have paid on that pot.
It's always good.
I wanna fold here.
Yeah, easy fold.
Oh,
Good shot.
Do we size up?
Out of position, do we bet good shots out of position?
I don't know.
This is kind of a nice, I think this is kind of a nice size up. Outs to the nuts.
I would just bet small here because there's just 1 8 that is bad for us.
Yeah, and the 9 is also not that good.
King high board, just a range bet.
Yeah,
He has a lot of kings, eh? Yeah, hasn't he?
why did you wanna size up here, Tim?
Yeah, he has king.
Well, because
of
the
the-
king is connected, we do a lot of sizing up, and I think
Yep.
we have a 10, I think because it 10's on the board. And if we have a 10 in our hand, it happens to connect with the flop, I think could be a reason.
Yeah, we block a lot, that's true. It's a 10.
Our
I think,
equity didn't-
Louis, maybe it would be interesting to see like what's folding to our big bet. I bet we get a bunch of under pairs to fold. And some ace highs, like ace highs with
Yeah.
absolutely no code activity, like junky
Or
ace fives with no.
small betting, so. It's a range bet board indeed.
You get ace high with a backdoor flush to fold.
Pretty great.
I mean, you get ace queen.
Yeah. He's got
You get
lots of
everything
nines and
except for
eights.
like, you get everything except
Pairs
for like the
fold.
straight draws and pairs.
And kings.
And he folds under pairs. He folds sevens and below. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it just has too many marginal made hands with eights and nines.
So what
Okay,
I, what I
small
would
bet,
like to
what's
learn
folding then?
is, what I would like to learn is we bet large, you get called, and how do we start playing different various turns? Cause this is where I would like get called. Like if I brick, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like it's easy to play if I hit.
This has
something.
been a big flaw in my game that I'm working on. It's really true that you mostly continue when you have equity. So like if we have a backdoor here and it comes with like the 4 of hearts or whatever on the turn, then like we're hammering hearts in many cases.
So is it,
So
is
the
it,
thing-
is it like, it's a
so
three
if we
bet
don't
pot, so
turn-
I'm curious if it's still equity, mostly equity driven. I feel like it wants to just steal pots a lot in these, cause there's so many chips in there.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
like a
not
typical
steal,
big
eh?
blind, defend, check raise, continue when you have equity. I'm not sure it's the same principle or not. That's why I'm asking.
I'm not sure, I'm also not sure, but the thing that I don't think you have to
So
improve.
on an ace, a queen, and a jack, and a queen, we bet a lot, and then the rest is medium.
Yeah,
It's
if
the more or less the same pattern. 10 or higher is really good for us.
The low cards are not bad.
King is not good for us. He has more kings, but we have better kings.
Between the 8, the 7 and the 6 are the worst cards.
Hmm.
The 5 is not so bad here.
Put our hand in.
Yeah, but on the 5 he only has 7-6 suited, and that's not a lot. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of 7-6.
Turn spades, we can bluff.
Yeah, we have a spade, so.
So this does appear to be pretty equity driven, right?
Do you think betting on the king is equity driven, or 9, or 8? Or 4,
So
or
we-
3, or deuce?
No.
So when
No.
the spade turns and we have the queen of spades, we block his floats of spades, so we get to bet the spade.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good when
I think it's range
when we
driven. An ace is
we
good for
bet.
us, so we bet.
Forgot the flop actually, Josh. I'm distracted.
He folded all his aces, so yeah, we can bet on an ace. No, but that seems reasonable.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah. So we can bet the 4 of spades here, small.
You can bet.
So
Oh, that's one
blast
of
the
the worst
king?
cards.
so we
I
bet
want to
twice,
say
he
that
called
I would say
twice.
that.
Do we give up now?
I would.
I think we blast. No, wait. Wait. We have a spade.
Yeah,
which
we
is
bet
probably
smaller,
bad.
so he
We
still
have a
has jack
spade.
10 and 7-6 probably.
I think a spade's bad.
Spades, he
and
also has
we-
spades, but we have a spade, so.
She
block
bet
a
It's
lot.
weird because we actually beat some of his worst draws, you know, like we're beating jack 10, we're beating 6, 7,
Totally.
6, but I think he's gonna bluff those hands.
I think we're black. I think we're black.
Yeah, it depends if
you
he has spades. If he has spades, he doesn't bluff maybe, then
Right.
still beat them.
I guess we gotta give up. No.
Nope.
No, gotta give
All
up.
again,
Ace
wow.
10,
Give up.
spades.
Savage.
And it's a real EV difference, 14 versus 24.
But,
I thought
but
having
if you,
a spade was bad
if you
for
would
us.
bet large on the turn, what would
Yeah.
be the?
It's an EV difference, but the pot is big. I mean,
I'm wondering what folds river.
it's ace 10.
Yeah, ace ten
Man.
of spade, ace jack of spade folds, all ace high spade folds.
At least you have a chance of
Yeah.
folding him. Jack 10, 7-6, 7-5.
We get better hands than ours to fold. like
5.
Queen, jack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
also
mixing
some
some of his bottom pairs, some of his eights there.
Is Sam in the house? Congratulations, Sam. 6,000 again today, yesterday, man. Let's go.
Congrats.
7,000 I miscounted.
7. Very nice.
It's
Got the
nice,
bounties.
feels good.
Well done, mate.
On GG or
That's
what?
awesome, man. Congrats.
On a
No, I'm
secret
poke.
side.
On a poker,
Okay.
bro. The
Secret
guy,
side.
when I get heads up, he just lay down and I beat him up.
Is this not a
ground and
call?
pound.
Yeah, I raised every button, he fold every time, and then he limps his button. So naturally, I win a bigger pot in position.
Okay, against the bet small. That's in position strategy facing a small bet.
We
Wow,
over defend.
we
Just call.
reach MDF.
Yeah, we are in position, so yeah.
So finally a spot where we reach MDF on the flop. Almost. Alright. Pair boards, not much to see. Straight board, not much to see. So we're gonna defend a lot.
Against the small bet, yeah.
And then
What was the chart where we only had one board? Where you just went by, the middle finger chart?
trips.
Trips.
Middle finger check.
I think we're gonna start folding some tens here and I'm probably gonna fold this one.
Yeah,
No way.
he's got all the aces, kings, jacks.
There's
ace
no way.
queen, Ace.
What are we raising more on the flop?
So let me think about this more. We probably want.
Goes all in?
We probably don't wanna have 10 jack here. I think king 10 would call. I think king jack might fold.
I think having a king here in your hand would be bad.
I think king 9 might be better than king jack.
I think having a
No,
9 is bad as well. 9 jack.
Yeah, 9's not great. Like, so then
Think so,
10-8
equity
suited
here.
might be better than 10-9.
we're snapping it off.
Alright, snap it off then.
No. Oh, okay.
Yep, we're snapping it off and we lose.
I'm just curious how, if it's folding any
Snapping
10.
it off and we're losing money.
As long as you don't snap it off against a normal player.
I do.
You shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
3-bet pot, really, you shouldn't.
Yeah, this is solver special. So just remember when you're playing against the field, when they bet twice, you need to start folding.
Okay, so on this texture, as we saw, we have a big bets. We have plenty of big bets. Is this one of
Mhm.
them? We majorly bet big here.
Yeah, so size up.
Yep,
Yep.
call it off.
Yeah,
Ah,
easy. Ship it.
we could have dealt this pre-flop. Semi board with a pair board, we are gonna fold here.
I fold.
Raise.
What's wrong with it?
Raise.
Raise?
He's
I
full
bet
of
you
shit.
could fold, we could raise something like jack 9.
He's,
Jack nine's an okay
it's
raise.
10 high board is good for him. He knows it. He's betting now, he's betting range, so I'm
That's
gonna
small.
stick it back in his face.
And
Yeah,
his left
definitely
hand
one of
solver.
that small.
But again, I think raising a king there is just, it's too high in your range. Raise lower stuff.
Uh-oh.
Jack is good for us.
That's always
We
good.
We
104.
gotta punt it off.
Yeah, I got a barrel.
You gotta
With
punt
the-
it off.
We have
But-
more jacks than he.
Like
But you
104, right?
104.
I don't know that you have to size up. I think you can bet small again.
No, I think you size up.
Man, I don't wanna bet small with this hand. I wanna get some folds.
Yeah. If
Feels
you bet
bad,
small,
man.
then the same
I
hand's
would
call
check
again.
here.
No, I think you bet big with the stronger hands, right?
We did pick
Yeah,
up.
if you have an ace, you
equity,
bet big.
so I
Again,
guess
I mean.
betting big makes
Size
sense.
up.
That's one of our worst.
Yeah, we pick up.
It's
equity.
some small betting, but mostly big.
Alright, now
of
we're
our
at the
Alright.
bottom of our range here.
Now we can go all in. It's really
Oh
bad.
yeah,
for
jam it. This
Spades.
is a great spot to jam.
He calls.
Yep. Not blocking spades. We get him off. We need to get him off of stuff like queen 10, king 10. You know, that's really important.
Yeah, he never.
He's not calling.
Oh,
king,
so
10.
now we know these are the types of hand we punted off.
Yeah,
But like, this is a good punt. This one's like well in line. That's just, I think it's just standard. If you're not bluffing that, you're doing it wrong.
This sucks.
Oh, it was 50-50, so
Yeah, well, you got to call here.
don't
Yeah.
need to bluff that.
okay.
Do we?
No,
Just fold.
just
With no spade? I
No
don't
spade,
know.
no
Like
draw.
I think ace jack is close. I can
I
see
would
calling.
fold.
He's range betting this board a lot.
No, he's not range
No,
betting.
no, he's not. No, he's not.
Huh?
Monotone boards are not range bet, huh?
Not range betting, but against a small bet, we reach almost MBF perfectly here on king high boards.
Yeah,
So,
this one's definitely.
Yeah,
gonna
but
call.
on monotone boards, Louis?
yeah, monotone.
Look at that.
I mean, I think-
We have to call 97%.
So like
Right.
half of our range comes from single spades, right? That's like half of our range is flushes and single spades. So
Yeah.
then you start looking around the rest of your range.
We have
I
a lot
think
of
this is
kings
just-
also.
And we have any king X, any pair, any what
We
is
have
it,
sets.
nine X.
we don't. even have to-
But I think this hand squeaks in. I think it's just good enough.
Yeah, I mean, if
I would
it's a
fold
call,
normally,
it's like
but-
barely
No,
a
we have
call.
straight draws. We have straight draws to call before that.
No, we're folding 90%.
Yeah.
And we have two pair.
Alright, but it's
We have
mixing.
indeed
It says
straight
like a
draws
squeak
as
in.
also. And we have ace
Yeah,
queen, maybe.
yeah, we basically, definitely.
So probably there's the cutoff then. Ace queen is calling indeed, almost 100%.
Yeah.
So that means we gotta fold against population.
Yeah, but see how many kings we have.
Alright,
All our under pairs are calling.
We need to bet.
we don't really.
No, we don't. We already made a
No.
mistake.
This is ace high. It has showdown value.
That was a straight.
No, we're giving up.
Yeah, we
bet.
called to
I
get
wanna
here.
Point out, we bet the turn more often than we call the flop.
Sure.
What are you trying to say?
That was easy to to have.
We called when we were winning and the guy sucked out on us and then
Yeah,
gave us a
we
free
called
ride.
when we were ahead and we checked when we were behind. We played it perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes they're gonna hit their cards. Whoa. Okay, we bet 30, sorry. I thought. you
Two
checked.
pair.
Oh, yeah.
Size up,
Size up.
Yeah, yes, I want to force great.
that's
Oh,
small.
Weirdo.
Molly.
And the funny thing is, he would probably call eights against a small bet. No?
We call this one?
Yeah, call one with the ace.
Oh, yeah.
Check back or
would bet
for value?
I would check back.
Check back,
I
check
would
back.
probably bet small.
Now,
Here, huh?
Can you bet
That's
think you
this?
can value
small
bet
for
river.
value.
I think it's time to get
Value.
greedy.
80.
I wouldn't get greedy.
Not
We
too
need to get
greedy,
called.
yeah. I mean,
We need to get
He's
called. by
gonna
some-
raise us all in again.
And then we fold.
Bet.
It's fine. We bet 80 and we fold to a shove.
Nope.
Oh, just 100% check.
so it's too bad.
Greedy when he's in a 3-bet pot.
Oh, those punk ass check
Yeah.
ace jack.
With the ace of hearts,
Yeah, how does he check?
He has
this?
to have some nut flushes since it's
For
checking,
check
right?
Alright. We're
Let's
gonna bet.
go.
Yeah, he bet small twice. Even the turn he's gonna bet small again.
You have a
And
pair.
Louis, how often was kings betting there versus checking?
80%.
90.
80% bet?
Almost
90%
90.
bet?
No, 80.
Huh, okay. I thought we had a couple more checks there.
Call. Backdoor.
Backdoor, direct
Backdoor.
equity.
Check or
Got a
greed?
pair.
And direct equity, yeah, also.
We're ahead. We're ahead. y'all.
Greedy?
We have enough jacks.
Yeah,
I
we
think we
betting
can
small.
bet small and
He's really short on jacks. I guess we need to go for value.
Yeah, and get a little protection and value.
Little
He calls us
protection,
with
that's the
an
reason I
ace.
would bet, yeah.
Just check.
Oh, yeah, check.
check, huh?
No.
We
And
never
now we have to check.
check.
Only getting called a bit. Oh no,
We
he has
did get
ace.
value.
We
Yeah,
were
we have
better than
enough-
the solver. We did get value indeed.
Yeah.
We lost
So,
the points, but we gained money.
At 30,
Oh, sizing up.
interesting,
Yeah,
without a flush suit.
last chance to size up.
with a flush draw board, we size up.
Yeah,
Not
this is
much
our
rough.
best ace.
Yeah,
Yeah, 104.
Nope.
Stuff it.
No. We got him though.
See, we are better in getting value. Yeah.
Call.
Ah,
Ooh, do we call here? Why? We have ace high. Nothing more.
backdoor flush. Backdoor
Backdoor-
Yeah,
straight.
so
Backdoor
He's
straight.
not. He's not supposed
So-
also
All of my
to.
opponents are always getting runner on me. It must be possible.
We have to meet MDF here. Like, we gotta get there.
Louis, you should try being better. They would get there less than. You guys just. They're
Now
too
we can
good.
fold.
Raising
Raise.
some.
No, don't, no.
Even all in, eh?
now you
Don't do
fold.
that.
You fold.
Fold, fold, fold,
Eight.
fold.
All in? Why would you go all in with that?
On the flop.
because he has a lower dangler and therefore the other guy can't have an 8. And the other guy never has king, so he always has ace, king, so it works. Right?
It always works every time,
That's
except
the
for the
Louis.
times when it doesn't.
Yep.
Until it doesn't.
Louis is going off of my school, the F this guy, he can't call.
Oh,
school.
this is a very low board, so we can bet, I think.
Low
It's
connected.
not that good, but
No.
the fours are not that bad.
This is
Paired, we tend to
absolutely
just bet
terrible.
small every time, right?
This
Yeah.
is absolutely terrible.
No,
Check.
not
No, it's
terrible.
not. He doesn't have fours. He doesn't have, nobody has fours.
He has ace four.
Neither
He's
we
not
do.
having.
Yeah, only
five,
a few
four.
ace four and king
But
four.
we have,
suited,
but we have
that's-
jacks, we have
four
queens, we have
hands.
kings, we have aces, like we have all the good cards.
But
I
he
would bet
also
small.
has like all of his pairs over the 6. Now we're going to put a lot of pressure if we bet. So
And
I
we
think
have a
we want to
backdoor, huh?
realize our equity.
2 overcards, backdoor.
That's somehow a bet.
Mixes and mostly bets.
I don't
I
understand.
think we
it.
just have, look at our range advantage, Louis. I think our range advantage is close to like 60-40 on this board. It's huge.
I'm not so sure. He's gonna have more connection with the straight there.
Have range advantage, he has the nut
He does
advantage.
have a lot of 7-5. He only has 7-5 suited, I think. So.
53%, 54%.
Alright, it's thin-ish, but it's there.
Oh,
Alright,
yeah.
it's less than I thought.
Yep. And he has such a clear nut advantage. I love when the graph looks like that. We're ahead, he screws us.
Yes,
Oh,
happens sometimes.
Oh, I guess we mentioned ace four, but that's
All
actually
in.
the relevant one is that
But
ace four.
Just wants to go all in on the jack high board, I told you.
Wow.
Just all in. This
I
is
actually don't think that's that crazy.
It's wet and filled with hate.
And it's only less than 3 times pot, so it's not that big.
Should we open jam this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
just
here's-
rip it in there, man.
2.9 pot. So.
I'm gonna try and find this in game. I'm gonna try and find this in game.
We saw
It's what
this
allows you to do
earlier
it with your
with
ace
the-
king.
Yeah, we saw this earlier with the queen jack board. It's these 2 middling boards that are in the middle of our cards of our range, which are 9 through ace. And we just get to punt it off.
Yeah, also connects pretty decent with his range, so he has a lot of draws here. So that's also a reason to just go for it.
It connects way better with our range though. Like our range is so
Yeah, but he has
concentrated
also a
between
lot
9
of
and ace.
draws here, Peter. I mean,
Which
so
is why
we
we want to
deny a
go.
lot of value if we size up.
Yeah, which is why we want to go really big. Why we're
Yeah.
seeing a lot of
Yeah.
But look at our top pair, our queen jack. Queen 10. Those are the
Yep.
small bets. The set and the 2 pair are the small bets.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are too far ahead. They don't want to, or at least the jacks and tens. That I can
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, and that's what protects the 10-9 and all, all that stuff. And
And our ace-7 and ace-6.
yeah,
But our queens,
and all of our 1 pair hands are what
king, queen.
our 1 pair big kickers are protecting our ace king shoves.
Yeah, so does queens, huh?
And that ace queen off. Yeah, queens, that's what I meant. 1 pair hands.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the over pairs, not the aces. The aces is in the other way.
Good.
Jesus,
Oh, you get that with a king.
Plays so bad.
Jesus. Jesus, save us.
Guys, we're just drawing dead against this guy. He's too good.
You
Always.
get the thing good, so yeah.
We have to stop playing against the guy who's also dealing the cards.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, fair, yeah.
Don't play
Yeah,
with
we're
it.
like, we're playing against the matrix over here, like, give me a break.
Yeah.
2 over
Is this a
backdoor
home
flush. You shouldn't bet a lot on this texture.
That's
Do we?
what I was thinking. Do we ever raise?
I
Yeah,
don't
yes.
think we were gonna raise with this hand. I think it's too
No,
good.
just
float,
call.
You gotta have some
Just
sort of
sit-
connectivity to the flop,
Takes
right?
3
Yeah, just
deuces,
sit back and realize.
We turn a backdoor flush. I wanna bet pot.
I think
I
it's
wanna
gonna
bet, I
Uh,
don't know what
I think
size.
betting the turn's okay. I think it might be 104 though.
And not a lot of
Yeah.
draws coming in, so.
Yeah,
That's
if we
right.
bet
Or does
104,
it-
we still have,
does.
if we bet 104, we still have a reasonable shove on the river.
And we love to leverage, right? The
Check
current bet plus
call.
the threat of future bets.
You just call.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and check.
Bet small.
Bet. No, check again.
Put
Yeah.
check.
All in. Bet small.
What hands want to go all
Half
in?
pot.
What is he?
bet.
The
What-
flush
Never
wants to
having
go
a
in.
jack.
The
We're
jack
gonna-
is not going all in.
No, he's never having a jack, I said, the way he played.
We get called by other pairs, I think.
Can have an
with half
overpair,
pot.
but that's also pretty
Yeah.
rare.
Can
It's
have
not
it.
calling.
I kinda wanna go bigger, like a king high flush is a really good hand here, right?
Yeah, pot
Yeah.
or, but not all in.
In our
I
with
don't
our
know.
bluffs, we are pot betting.
I folded
I
a
don't-
king eye flush today on the river. I bet for value, got raised. I just fucking snap folded.
If you bet 80
If
here,
it's a
you also
paired
leave
board,
the
then I
door
think
for
you
him
are
to.
okay. Kept
It was a 5 flush board.
Oh, yeah, on a 5 flush board. Oh, yeah.
It's like he just always has the ace, right? We're a straight flush.
Yeah, exactly. On like a 3 flush, then I think you have an easy call there because they can actually have bluffs, but he just has 0 bluffs.
And I still would fold, I think. Yes, no, but.
Yeah, if you bet 80 here, you leave him room to bluff too, but
I don't see enough jacks in this range for us to be able to go all in and get paid sometimes.
I think
we
it's
have to
bet
bet
But
small.
is he not gonna bluff catch us with like 10s? Is he not gonna bluff catch us with like,
Not if you go all in, probably.
Are we gonna go for thin value with like 9x pocket tens?
Yeah.
What else do we got for value here? Like,
I'm not going for thin value with the 9 here, Ken. The flush
not.
got here, the straight got here. The jack. The 9 is not reopening the action.
nah. Yeah.
So I would,
I would half pot it.
yeah,
I'll go all in.
No, it's all in.
Still all in.
All in,
Yep.
bet your best hands for what they're worth.
Yeah,
Greedy.
At least there's some small betting also. It's not nothing.
Yeah, he's gonna have some bluffs with the ace of spades when we small bet there, so.
bet small.
No.
Yeah, no,
not
I was gonna say, I think this is
small.
we've seen a lot of
King
these king
high.
highs. A lot of them like to size up.
He has a lot of kings. And,
Don't have
spades.
spade.
It's a
So the-
paired board.
And king, he has lots of kings.
Was the paired? Yeah, it was paired.
He has
Mm-hmm.
Although we bet mostly small on paired board, that's true. Not on force. I saw it.
Yeah, I think you have to bet small again to give him rope.
So why do we have, it's not clear for me, what kind of texture we're gonna bet big on?
I think aces are a very good hand to bet big here because you unblock king high
Yep,
and you unblock spades. So
yep.
true.
And it's a little bit drawy, like he has ace tray, he has ace five, he has 6-5, he has 7-5, so he's got
Mm.
some interactivity with the 4 and the deuce. That we wanna
Yeah.
charge.
Yeah, but is it the hand? Or like the range?
It's both. It's always both.
it's no, it's
It's the
60%
hand.
bet small, so it's not all that big.
Oh, sorry, I thought Louis, you meant like, is it the hand that determines out the range? I mean. Yeah, it's both of them. We need to have a range with the nuts. We need to have a range with strong value. He needs to have something to call us with.
There's still 18% checking almost. Huh? I mean, we can find
Well,
those checks.
What's our heuristic of which bluffs to put in which of those two ranges? Which are the big bet bluffs, which are the small bet bluffs, or does every bluff sort of mix?
Ooh, it's hard to say.
I still don't
don't
understand
know.
how you guys find big bets all the time here, where it's a majority bet small with range.
Yeah, but it's just like the top of your value is often your big bets, like
You
ace,
unblock the
king and
king.
aces.
That's for me.
Yeah, okay, so I
You,
get
you
that.
looked at the sim and it was like ace, king and aces. So just like
Yeah,
bet
and
big with
king,
ace, king
queen.
and aces.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Okay, so
that's your
it's
answer.
value driven, right? It's just value driven.
Louis,
Yeah.
go to the sim and click on the,
Plus
on-
protection driven.
and let's just see what the range looks like. What's the big bet range? So
The
click on,
big
the
bet.
yeah, so it's,
So yeah. King, queen, plus, and some spades, basically.
Yeah, but also hearts. I see backdoors.
and then click on the other one. I'm just sort of looking at the bluffs, how they line up, like the ace 10. So it's,
Can you
So we-
click on the heart and see which backdoors are betting? And if it connects with the king, then there's some big betting with backdoors.
Okay, so we bet big more with the backdoor flush. We bet
Then
small
front-
more with the front door.
okay.
So worse draws are betting bigger because they need more fault equity. Or profit more from fault equity. Let's put it that way. But the difference are small, I think. So it's not. Not
I know what
heuristic,
the, I know what the heuristic is on the river when we're betting our bluffs, which bluffs to put in the small category and which bluffs to put in the big one. I just wasn't sure. I'm not sure on the flop. In a cash game session, Jonathan Jaffe explained that when you're betting two different sizes on the river with, both with value and with bluffs, the bluffs you put in the small size, I thought this was really important. You put your bluffs that are that have no showdown value at all, just the terrible bluffs in the small size, because they gain from getting anything to fold. And you put your stronger bluffs They're still bluffs, but like if it's an ace high bluff. And so therefore it doesn't need to get king highs to fold kind of thing.
Or a low pair or something like that.
Yeah, you need to get a low pair to bluff for it to be to fold to be any good. So therefore you have to bluff it bigger. Whereas your missed flush, your low missed flush draw benefits from getting a 7 high to bluff to fold. So you can therefore profitably bluff it small. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I never thought of it that way. I would have thought of it the opposite, and I really like that.
Just call.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you bet all in, then he also calls. So.
Check back.
Our best ace?
Yeah,
Don't know.
marginal made,
Yeah,
not-
check back.
backdoor heart, kind of nice.
Mixing.
Yeah.
Mixing, yeah. Ooh,
I'm calling here.
Oh, yeah.
good shot.
We block his value with the ace of hearts. We have one of our best ace highs, if not the best one. It is the best one, right?
Yeah, ace queen is the
Best
best.
ace high,
It's our best ace high. Yep.
and we have a gut shot. It's
Our
mixing,
ace is often a live
We're
out.
already falling. So,
yeah, mixing, but now we got there, so we stuff it.
Yep.
And get called. Yay.
Got him.
For
Getting
pair.
there and getting paid. And
Yay.
yeah, Louis, like you said, we were ahead on the turn. We had the best hand.
And you were saying against his flush draws. I would think that his flush draws would have bet the flop.
Well, we were
He's
blocking
backdoor,
a
eh?
portion of value from his range. That's why I said.
That's small range.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know that value is still in his range if because he's a solver, so he bets, well, no, I guess, does he bet? Yeah, in a 3-bet pot, he's gonna bet all of his flush draw. Right?
No,
No.
no, definitely reserve some for
Okay,
every line.
okay,
The checking range yeah,
okay.
always also has a flush draw.
So
That's
this
part
is
of
a board
balance,
we're
you know, if
gonna
it goes check,
polarize
check,
on,
he needs to
right?
show up on the turn with flushes as well.
Okay,
So this is a board we polarize on.
Yeah.
So-
Yes, I think yes. Maybe the 9 is not the best card because he has more 9s than us.
What part of our range is polarizing? So we know like the backdoor flush, the spades are gonna polarize?
You mean for value or for bluffs?
No, I'm just asking what bets big here. Whether it's
So
value or
king-
bluff.
King, queen plus, basically for value.
Yeah, that's easy. The backdoor flush.
Aces.
I
You-
think,
you-
I think Jack 10 may be a good bluff because it gets queen highs to fold, but has a
Good
big
shot.
draw. Yeah, so
So
I
a
think
bit
we do take
big
a wild
Jack 10?
guess and say
I
that
think
Jack
this one
10 is a
checks. but,
better, yeah, is a better.
What do we do with
uh,
like ace 9 of spades?
Ace 9 could be a bet smaller or check, I think.
No, we don't have any checks here, guys. It's a king eye board and a 3-bet pot. We never check.
In that case, you funnel all your junk into your small bet, basically, right? Or your kind of like middling stuff.
Well,
into your
Here,
small bet
like,
range.
we have a small bet and then we have a lot of big bets, and I'm still curious about the big bets. So we found out like aces, sure, king, queen are better, sure, spades, sure, what else?
I bet you like a single heart here makes a better big bet. That's my
Yeah,
guess.
for me also, yeah.
How about king 9 as well?
I think king nine's a nice big
bet
bet,
is
nice
small.
big bet.
I think king 9 is a bet small.
I would think
think
bet
also
small
small
too, because we
because then you
block it
get,
out, block them.
No, king,
Yeah,
two
you
pairs.
block too much
This
value.
scenario was always betting small and like the best top pairs are betting big.
would you click on the big bet just to make the range really clear?
We don't even have ace
Ooh,
9.
I was basically right about Jack 10, huh? Jack 10, is it Jack 10 of spades goes big a lot?
Yeah, but the other ones also. Only Jack 10
Also?
of hearts not.
Right, yeah, Jack 10 of hearts is the one that could go
Alright,
slow.
so our spades polarize, our front door are betting small mostly. Yeah, kind of.
Some ace high are betting big, because then you can.
We hardly have
put,
anything
ace,
that's not a,
flushes.
I
We
would
hardly
never
have
think to
anything that's
use
not a
ace
combo
high.
draw. It's like 10-8 and Jack-8, some of our only hands that are not combo draws of hearts.
And then Jack 10, Queen 10, Queen Jack. Especially without the front door flush. Alright, so over cards to the 9 that don't have the front
Daar
door.
all gut shots, Louis. Huh?
Alright. It's a lot clearer now. Spades, kings, cards between the 9 and the king.
Gut shots.
Those
Not
are your,
hearts.
those are your bet bigs.
So we
Yeah,
check
mostly
here.
bet big.
He has more flush than us.
The bigger you bet, the more you profit from additional equity.
Yeah, we give up.
call.
No.
No, we have
Have
nothing.
one heart.
This hand's
No, we do have. no, we do-
exactly.
We have
No
a
fault.
terrible gut
It's a
shot.
very small
Hand
bet.
sucks.
Yeah, gut shot and over. Got a call.
Yeah, it's a very small, oh no.
Oh,
An easy fault, huh?
I thought it was a fold.
Yeah, I mean, I also thought it was a fault.
we had a gut shot and 2 overs. And our heart and the hearts didn't even pollute them.
No, it's still a fault.
Yeah, no, I'm saying what we actually had against his hand, against his.
Oh, yeah, I know. I didn't know that, Scott, but it's just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it really sucks to bluff catch there on that turn where sometimes you're literally drawing dead. There's not a card in the deck that wins it for you. That's it's a bad
Also,
feeling.
you're out of position. There's also a reason to.
I have no idea what he's doing. Ace, king board, he checks.
I want to bet small since I have a piece of it.
Something is up here.
Alright,
Size up.
yes.
Yeah.
All in,
I
we block
think
the flush.
I think
so
in
block
solver
that.
land, we go for value. I think in the
In
real
solver
world,
land, I
you
would
check
go
back,
I think he's gonna,
you check back and expect to get shown ace king every
Does
time.
he-
in the
does
real
he
world.
check like queens on that flop?
Yeah, I think it checks queens.
Yeah, but he's not calling on the turn. Only kings and aces are calling and flush draws, I think, on the turn.
Yeah, there's enough bluffs that we can bet our ace here.
So he's checking range is super polar to either like nothing
He can
or
have
Or
kings
sets.
that picked up a close draw.
We
And
can
then
also have king 10 and king 9 and that kind of, or king 8 and that kind of stuff. I mean, you can have a king, I mean, and but he also
which is a flaws now. Um,
Alright, we got a lot of
Yeah,
value
he's
from
not-
king queen. It's nice.
he's-
We got size up value on the turn from king, queen, not the small bet. Yay.
And in solver land, river bet is worth a lot. It's worth 10 chips.
So is he betting king, queen if he has king of diamonds, queen of clubs? Or,
you're asking
I'll
if
leave.
he's betting king, queen, if he has.
on the flop, you mean?
diamond club?
On the
he's
flop, you
range
mean,
betting
Ken?
this
Yeah, on the flop.
and he's
Yeah, I
checking
mean,
10%
on the flop.
on the flop,
He's checking how much? 10%?
10%.
Okay.
It's like sets and queens.
So just don't check on the flop.
Alright, I wanna bet this.
Definitely bet here.
Yep.
Oh,
I
it's
like
got
that.
Turn is for betting.
bet. It's got
Fold.
big.
Ugh.
He's never raising us, especially never raising small.
This is
You
a
must have
ridiculous
a hand
spot.
that needs protection.
Yeah.
A jack with a queen needs protection, so he bets.
Yeah.
Fold.
Calling,
No, it's a call.
Call.
It's thin, but it's a call.
check back.
Check. Check.
Yeah, check back unimproved. Check back. We beat worst ace highs and stuff. Look at that. We were free rolling him.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Bet.
Bet.
Definitely
Yeah,
bet.
that's small almost all the time here.
Just mixing.
Got him.
I think
Got
betting.
Yeah, got a king high to fold.
Raise.
Good. No.
We have a
no, don't do
backdoor,
that.
so I don't mind.
Find a call. Just call.
Don't raise.
Raise for value.
Go.
Maxi, you're playing against a guy who has ace king.
Not for value, I mean,
There
That's
is some
true.
raising, but
there is some raising, but yeah,
on
it is
the
some value
flop,
because you can have a queen he calls with.
pretty sure he has all the advantages in the world here. Not advantage, equity, range. You're not raising much here.
You also left off, he has a skill advantage also.
He does have a skill advantage, a substantial skill advantage.
You just, Louis said that I'm a fish, literally.
Okay.
Should we bet here?
I don't know. I think
No,
we could check. I think we have better. Yeah, make king
I
jack
would-
bets.
king jack can bet maybe, but king nine,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't hate this bet. We get called by queen X all day long, so
I
Yeah,
think
but
he's
are we
gonna
worried
call
about
it
queen
like,
X?
If he has a.
I'm not
bet,
worried, but I'm
gonna
happy to get
call.
paid. I like getting paid.
Yeah, but
If we bet,
if you bet and he raises, then what?
we're gonna bet.
Then
small.
what? We call off, we have top pair.
That's the reason
Call
I
off against.
Bet, he raise, we call. Oh, we raise it back. Look at this.
Yeah, not good.
Sicko, sicko.
I don't understand why to get
He's
into this.
raising his bluffs and he's not gonna fold his
situation.
bluffs, I guess.
I just got
Right.
done.
That's the reason I don't bet, but
Yeah, just check back the turn.
I
yeah,
think,
against a solver you
Right.
can indeed, but
I think maybe though we just lose our money in a different order if we, against the solver, because if we check the turn. The river.
Yeah, we're not gonna fold top pair to this guy.
yeah, but he's maybe not going all in.
I know.
Yeah, I think he goes all in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, some of the time, of course, but
so if we think about it, he bet the flop on king queen X, and then when a key card for him turned, he checked. So I think we have to be pretty suspicious there.
But I mean, isn't that the line he would take with like a queen X? Like, what's his line with ace queen? I bet it's very similar.
yeah, I think also. But,
Yeah, what's his line with queen jack, jack 10, I think can check that turn since it picked up showdown value and is
yeah, so
nope,
say
he's often-
against a solver you can bet, but against a normal human you can.
Jack 10 improves
hard.
its equity. It's gonna bet.
I'm not sure though, when it's like a lot of times that like bottom pair with the straight draw, like he's just getting it in against like king jack and queen jack and ace jack, you know what I mean? Like he's just, when he takes aggressive action with something like jack 10 on that turn, he's often drawing pretty thin.
So what do we do here? This is a heavy check board, but not with this.
Not this hand. Wanna bet this hand?
This is one of the bets.
And we check heavy still. Ace comes, pretty good for us.
Yep.
Yeah, bet big.
Size up.
Side-
I'm not sure. I see a lot of aces here.
Yeah, we can bet small still, because we can still call off if he raises.
Not a lot of aces here. That's small?
Yeah.
Oh, it was betting.
Yeah,
Because
bet
we
big.
got, because we need folds
And
Yeah,
we
you
block,
marginally
and
make-
because we block the
and we block the spade.
spades.
Yeah,
Right.
check it
One
out.
raise,
Is
so you block his
continuous.
calling range, so.
Queen
Oh,
jack,
how weird to river a kind of crappy hand.
Yeah, I think this.
Bet
becomes-
small.
Check.
check
Yeah.
on this river.
Marginal made, nice.
Stupid jacks.
Go big, he folds.
Does he fold jacks to the 104 on the turn?
Maybe not.
I think it
It starts to put him in a tough spot.
does. I think this is a call.
This is.
They have a good
fold.
shot.
I think this is a,
That's
I think
Ace
this,
high, we overfold.
Plus an overpair to the 6.
but this hand,
An
I
overcard.
I think this,
Maybe we can check raise.
Fold. No way. Not enough.
This is just a fold, guys.
yeah, well, hit call
Fold.
because it's gonna make the rest of the hand more interesting.
Calling. Yeah, I was sure
That's
about.
what I mean.
Yeah.
He's supposed to bet range, yeah. So he's also betting with non-aces.
Yeah.
I'm in the 0% team here.
Me too.
The sliver
Yeah.
of zero.
Here we are with that 7-5 of clubs again.
I am
Yeah.
considering betting this.
What?
I'm not even in this hand.
I'm not taking any further responsibilities here.
I'm not even
Checked.
not on this table.
I would bet.
How much?
I would check back.
Oh, 4.
104.
You guys are sick of.
Yeah,
Oh,
right. Look at
never
Represent
checking back.
the 6 or the ace. I mean, yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, was my initial thought.
Yeah, the
The
6
six is
pairing is below his range. It's in some
Good for
bars. so
us.
Go team knit.
I would assume we don't do it with this hand. Or this is the hand.
I think we are team maniac.
Oh, I missed the size up here.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
size.
This is just a fold.
Fold.
This is a bet small.
It has an equal amounts of size up.
Yeah.
And check.
Ooh. Stinky check.
Yeah,
Check
Don't-
back here.
back. Don't do it.
Yeah, we
Now
have,
we improved our.
No, most of the time do it.
Yeah, we have 2 backdoors. 1 to the 2 and 1 to the 7.
Where's
Yeah,
the
double.
double?
wow.
We need a 3,
Wow.
3 or a 6 of not spades. To do it. Now we
We're
have,
so live.
I think
We're so
that
live.
makes sense because we defend with the suited hands against his 3-bet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure
We
we
need
have
runner, non-spades.
more flashes.
now we have a,
Maybe.
now
Yeah,
Yes.
more flushes.
Yeah, but our pairs also want to bet, I think, now.
We picked up equity here.
So I would
Yep.
bet.
I think we need to, I think now we bluff. If we didn't bluff flop, we should bluff the turn.
But
What
maybe
size?
Small.
No, not small, I think. I
5.
would bet bigger. 6-5, yeah, I would bet, but I don't know.
What? It's gonna be 100.
Do we get king eyes to
Yeah,
fold?
100 is also not bad, I think.
Yeah.
If we bet 65, we get ace eyes to fold, yeah. King eyes, plenty of better hands.
it's a check.
Alright. Yep, found it.
Never a check.
Exactly 65.
Ace king.
Ace king. We won with 5-4 against ace king. We are good.
Louis, you're a child of the sim.
Honestly, if we were live, I would show him this hand.
I never would show.
I would show here.
Next time we talk.
Cause Louis is gonna try to get a solver on tilt.
Yeah. Solver on tilt, we're gonna make money.
That's a really good, like name for a poker
Username.
product, by the way, right? Like solver
Solver on
on tilt.
tilt.
Don't-
Or
Yeah,
a
let's get
username.
such a good.
On steroids.
Let's get sweatshirts made. Let's say that.
Great name for a rock band.
We have 2
Yep.
pair and an ace, so nice.
Check and
Check.
bluff catch.
Yeah, check and bluff catch probably.
Oh, look at
Or
him check
go
down
all
that
in.
king high.
Get him off a better ace.
Okay, last time we were in a similar spot. In position, raise here,
Yeah,
small.
raise small.
Yes, there was no better ace on that flop.
I know.
And
It's a
barrel.
good
Calling,
turn,
yeah.
right?
Else is in a full trolling mood today. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, this might even be a stuff.
Ooh,
Yeah,
There's
it's,
an ace with a 10 or
yeah,
an 8.
it's
better.
a big bet, and that's what I thought
that's
also.
small.
That's a much better ace.
You wanna just shut it down and,
Yeah, I only
make
said
his, make his
that.
flush draws cry on that turn, right? Ah!
Bet.
Bet.
Bet
Oh,
small.
we're crushing him today.
10s, yeah, bet small.
Otherwise, how are we doing on EV? how-
Even big, we can go big, but if we are against the 10, yeah, small most.
No, he has almost no 10s, so we can get away with that.
Oh, pretty high error per hand, but we're making. money, so
Yeah,
Don't look back.
I think you
Playing that and
call with,
winning.
we call.
Raise,
Nine.
raise.
Why would you raise here, Joss?
You have a pair, top pair, and a weak kicker, and overcards are bad for us.
He's gonna
I
show you.
thought the same with the last hand.
He's gonna show you pocket tens, pocket jack, ace nine. What are you gonna do?
Lose money.
We go all in.
Oh my god.
But what if he floats you with ace queen? You know, what if he floats you with that? What if he floats you with two spades and an over?
It's,
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, now you're
call.
now you have two pair.
Now we
So we're calling. We're
We're not
calling.
calling.
You
I'm
should.
not calling. I would call.
all in.
Oh
What?
god.
Just call, guys.
We got him.
Yeah.
Ah, it was just a call. though.
With a completely
Yeah, that's
unnecessary
clever.
river shove. But yes, we got it.
Sliver. Funny guy.
Would he
Now, if
call
you showed
he
the
had the
5-4
ace of spades?
hearts, show him this.
He's blocking a 10-8. I mean, that's
Is he calling with the eight of spade on the river in his hand?
yeah, I think so.
Did he bet the river?
Yeah,
No.
he bet.
Yeah, he bet.
He did.
He blocked at the river.
Yep.
He's calling with the eight of spade.
That makes sense.
King eye board, we raise a strange bet.
And it might, with the ace of spades, we find some big bets, yeah. We've got backdoor broadways, backdoor nut flush.
We have a good shot
Kind of,
now.
Picked
Yeah.
up equity.
And we can still bet on the spade.
Yeah, so Bet 104.
We're still betting for value here against worst ace high as well.
Yeah, but
I don't know if we're
no,
betting for
they are folding.
value.
Yeah, worst ace size are folding, I think. I know.
I got the
I think
right.
it was value on the flop and bluff on the turn.
Now we
Yeah.
check.
Now, I'm not sure about bluffing this because it's a good ace high.
Yep, you're check.
On a spade, you could bluff. Queen, you have value.
Did we bet small on the turn or bet big on the turn there?
Bet big,
Big.
size 104, and there was no.
I think,
small. It was mixing checking and betting, size up.
Alright, can somebody control the stream for a few minutes?
I think I'm going to leave you guys. So
I'm gonna leave as well. Thank you guys a lot.
I can
can,
control the screen for like 15 minutes.
Oh, you're too late, Scott. It's me now.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, Max has got it.
See you guys. Have a
Bye bye. Good luck.
See you.
the rest of session.
So this is a monotone board, ace, king. I still bet small
I don't know.
because we defend against 3-bet with suited connectors a lot. We have a lot of flushes. We have more flushes than he has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
maybe
guess
with
it's-
with exact hand, maybe we check.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm okay with betting this a fair amount or like a range a fair amount, but I think this hand. I don't know, it has a Broadway draw. That's okay.
Okay,
That's small.
mostly
Yeah,
check.
alright.
But
not
but
crazy.
but let's see
You're
the
making more
range
chips though.
matters.
You're making more chips or betting.
Yeah. We're still checking. Even some flushes. Okay. I think it's because of this ace and king high. I wonder if we have a lower connected board monotone one. What will it be then?
Yeah, I mean, he just has a lot of coverage with an ace or a king who's going to float against a small bet. So,
Yeah. I'm freezed, guys. Oh, now it goes. Let's say some monotone put the 10 high, check high even. Let's make it a try. Do we have some monotone? Let's say something like this. Yeah, let's take this one. So, yep, we're still checking.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, now So we bet, he called. He has more aces. I think we're gonna check.
Yeah, this is just a give up.
Oh, look, but
Keep pedaling.
why? Why did we supposed to go barrel?
Because he doesn't like to give up.
But with the exact hand? Yeah, we needed to barrel. So now it's a give up for sure.
My fault. Probably not.
Range bet, bet small. On ace high.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a single spade in our hand, which is nice. I feel like single spades are gonna strongly lean towards betting.
On
But
the
in
double
the-
spades, do we size up? No.
But
No.
actually, who has more aces?
Both of us have a lot of ace.
We
More or
both have a
less.
lot of aces. This is
Yeah.
closer to even. We still have an advantage, but it's closer to even than many.
Sizes up.
So I think he's got an ace. Because 2-3, or even he has some 2-3s in his range.
Yeah, he also has a lot more 4s and 5s than we do. This is not good.
Yeah, he calls with, like, he calls flop with hands like pocket fours and pocket fives, I think.
Yep.
Not on an ace side board. On an ace side board with the flush, you have to fold your underpairs. You have a note on it.
Now with the
No, but I think under pairs with a straight draw and flush draw, I think he's, or we can look it up, but I think he calls like fours with spade, fives with spade. I think we're just behind everything. I mean,
yeah,
I think,
hold it.
oh man.
Yeah, because we hold a spade, I think we have to bet the river.
Well,
But I think
because
we
it's a
could give up.
blocker.
Yeah.
and he's just got like never folding.
Yeah.
But as played, we escaped pretty cheap.
We did get off cheap. Yeah, you should play it better and lose more money, right?
Yep. It's a good thing we've been playing badly. We're earning lots of money.
Exactly.
Still bet small on this small boards.
Yeah, backdoor flush draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have the range advantage here on 5-4-4. So
yeah,
not the range advantage. Nope. Closer to even. Not an advantage. Still in position. We probably have the range advantage after he checks though. That's probably true.
I bet this.
Yeah, the question is sizing. It seems like you could go big.
I think it's gonna be mixing.
Yeah, I think
it
it's
will
very
even
good.
it will have all ins on there as well. Not with our hand, but this is the jack high board.
Honestly,
It's
I don't-
all in board.
I don't hate an all in with our hand, but you know, it might not do it, but like, I don't hate it.
I maybe even consider the small bet and calling the check raise with our draw. But
I would
if
just,
we get the
I think I'd bet big or even.
When we're done, I
call,
want to look to see if we have the range advantage on this, what our nut advantage is on this board.
so
But for
I
now.
think if this
bet
I think if
30.
this board was Jack 10, we would have more all in or more big bet sizes. I think Jack 9 is going to start connecting better, is going to start connecting more evenly with both of our ranges. So I think this is just going to be a standard bet small.
Wait, but I think.
Yep.
I think if it's,
Yeah.
I think if the ranges are even, that actually leans us towards more of a check and bet big strategy. Bet small is usually what we do when we have a robust range advantage.
Yeah, and the Jack is still a key card for us. So I think we're still okay with a small bet there. And I think we can check here.
You think we check here? Why not?
I think we continue to bet.
Continue.
I think we size up.
I want to barrel. I want to barrel.
Me too.
We didn't improve any
Reaching.
equity.
Yep, but we have equity. Didn't have to improve.
Yeah, we just have the equity. We didn't need to improve. We have the big draw to begin with.
And we do some checking. So let's take a look at that spot. And go to, range explorer. On the flop.
On
Or
the flop.
Turn, yeah, on the flop.
Okay.
Oh, it's
okay,
close, Scott, just like you were saying. It's
It's
close.
close, but it's close on the turn after being called. I wanna
Oh,
see,
is that what that's on the turn? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's on the turn, yeah. It's always close on the turn.
Right, cuz yeah,
Oh,
the two
let's-
players
do it.
adjust their
Go
ranges
here,
Oh,
Close the equity explorer.
and
wait a
click all the way
second,
back to the
it will
root
be
of the
like
tree, right?
Yeah, close this window.
okay.
Now, go back and click on root. There,
Yeah,
right, now we go into the equity explorer. So browser, range
so
of,
out of position EV 53.7, so like, small to medium range advantage, medium
Yes.
maybe.
so we have a fine range advantage and we have no nut advantage.
Right,
That's what I was looking at was it seemed like our nut, even though we have the aces and kings, our nut advantage goes away with his set of
cuz we
five.
don't have fives and nines, so yeah.
Yeah, and how much jack nine do we have? I think he has more jack nine than we do.
Check.
So more two pair.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where it comes in. We have the
It'll be
ace,
up at the top, it'll be higher.
Here?
Wait, so it goes from set two pair, that's the one.
This one.
yeah,
Or how do we compare?
or you just click, you click between in position and out of position and whose range is it?
Oh, here. How do you do that, Scott?
Do we, let's, oh, show play. I'm not sure. Move on.
What are you guys looking for?
Oh, we were just looking to see how to change the.
Who has more two pairs?
Yeah, to see,
Click on change player on top.
Here?
Little in the middle, bit lower.
there it is. That's what we look at. Okay, two pair,
Oh, this is the in position, yeah.
right, in position still has aces. And then
In
out of,
position has 1.2% two pair, and out of position has,
Probably 1.1. Yeah, they have one less combo.
yeah, so. Yep,
So here we just call.
yep, we have a spade.
Ooh,
Hmm,
When do we
Oh.
raise?
time to get greedy.
raising.
No, call. We don't
Why?
raise any sets in this scenario.
Okay,
Oh my
what we
goodness.
do.
Yeah,
alright, well, we call river, for sure.
Yeah, he shoved. Great.
Got him.
Once
wait.
again, we played it
raise-
wrong and got max value.
He might fold his 10 of spades if we raise that turn.
so the reason I think we raised that set there is that we're blocking with the spade.
Yeah,
Without the spade, would we raise?
Without
Let's
the
see.
spade, no.
Let's see.
I kinda wanna, oof, bet big with queen jack here.
without the spade, yeah?
This is- yeah,
Pocket six, look at pocket six without the spade. Pure call.
Pure call.
So the
Because
spade,
it allows him to it allows him to bluff the single spade on the river more often.
Give up here.
Yeah, definitely give up.
Yeah.
Definitely give up. Yeah, he just shows you king every time.
Easy crawl.
Call.
Yeah, definitely.
Easy call, easy call.
Ooh,
I think we do a lot of stabbing no matter what when he checks.
yeah.
We
We don't
definitely are gonna
block.
stab with this hand because it's good. $104.
100%.
I say we double.
Yeah, I agree. And happy to call it off.
Oh, a
Was there
three.
any bet big on that flop? I missed it.
What?
Was there any bet big on that flop? I missed it.
Just a second. Some.
Yeah, 22%. Okay, that makes sense.
Just call hill. King is not so good for us.
Yeah.
We call again.
Yeah, I also think so.
I didn't realize I already ran all these flops. I ran it with a 25% C bet though, instead of 30%.
Yeah, good fold.
What the fuck am I running now? Oh, big one.
Bit small?
Yeah, range bet.
Ooh,
Oh, it's sizing
yeah.
up.
This one needs protection. Remember, he's only got pocket jacks is his only bigger hand here, so all of his floats, and he's gonna float light because he's supposed to meet MDF. So this is one where we get to size up.
Oh, makes total sense, yeah.
Yeah, so now
So
we
now
can
we
go
size
big.
up. We size up
Yeah.
here.
Nice.
What's our average check here, LP? I'm just curious if it's
20%.
20% check?
Yeah.
Yep.
Root
You mean on the turn or?
On the flop.
flop. Overall
Oh,
average check.
Yeah, 20% out of position, yeah, okay.
It has to be a 7 high board.
7, 6, 8, 5.
So I ran this with like, I don't know. Over 1,000 flops, I guess. Oh, no, okay, never mind. Forget what I'm saying. This is
I
broke
think we
down.
raise.
Yeah, I raise here also, I think.
Yeah, we're going all this one. We're gonna raise and wind up getting it all in, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
but
stuff.
oh,
That's interesting.
Oh, he shouldn't have chosen to bet on a 2, 3, 4 board very much. It should have been one of his highest frequency checks.
Well, the
No, that's
four
why.
starts to be like, because he actually, like, look at his range. He doesn't have any fours, so the four is kind of back to neutral. It looks a lot like a 9 to me.
Yeah, like his only connection is ace 4 and ace 5 with this board, so.
So what about here?
Yeah, well, stack to pot ratio is less than 1, so we're going.
Yeah,
Right.
bet.
All of it.
I was gonna bet small.
Oops.
Yeah, you don't need to bet as big, but
This is my problem. Always betting big in this spot.
Wait, with those pocket eights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they slow play some stuff, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
So on this board, it's either going to be a check or it's going to be a bet big. Yeah, I would check or pot that flop, or check or pot on the flop.
You mostly bet it.
Yeah.
Who's got the sixes? He's got more sixes than we do.
Yep.
I think we check. Oh, mixing. Well, not mixing, we just bet. Now, what's here? Check call?
Having the 10 of hearts is not great. And the 10 of spades.
I would bet here.
So,
Bet big.
Yeah,
small?
no, we gotta get some value. He's gonna be able to call with a 7 and 8. So I think we can go 104, maybe even pot. We're gonna have some bluffs that are gonna be that size too.
Oh, it's pot.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, what a hellish river spot. I think we're calling. I think it sucks, but I think we're calling.
I think we fold.
Yeah.
I think this is a bluff catcher.
Luis,
In-
this is his like check raise range right now.
This is the range he makes it to on the river for this
Mhm.
particular.
Okay, okay, but not for the check raise, just the range, the river.
I think it
Yeah.
sucks, but I just think it's a call. We're so high up in our range. We're getting really good odds. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only have to be right like 1 in 4. So,
In game, you should never make that call, but against
no, it's an
solver,
insane call. It's an insane call. And also it's like those spots get so different if there's any ICM. If there's any ICM, then making marginal calls is torture.
Yeah.
We just call here.
Yeah, against the king, you got to.
Oh, nice turn card.
That's small.
For value. Oh, check.
Oh.
Why do we check on the turn?
I'm gonna
Maybe
guess that we
the-
bet our 6-5. We bet our 6-5 without the flush draw. But 6-5 with the flush draw can afford to slow down.
Yeah, we're blocking too many of his
Yep.
continues by holding the hearts.
And I think it's just like a way to balance, like we wanna still have some nutty hands in our range when we check back, and so we check back the ones that are less worried about, being drawn out on.
What was with this board?
Could be
Ooh,
big.
yeah, this could be I think if we had a heart, I think this would be a stuff.
Yeah, you could stuff it with a heart. Stuffing it with a heart would be nice, but here maybe just big, you think?
Yeah,
I
I
see
think I'm
Jack
still,
10, we bet big, queen 10. With a flush draw, just go all in.
I think
yeah.
almost any queen. I think most of our queens can just go all in.
Are you,
Open
are you
raise.
sure
Let's
this,
call.
are you sure this one isn't like the medium size up, Louis?
I'm not sure, but last time that we could see the same patterns on Jack 10, Jack 10 8 and Queen 10 9.
Okay, stuff it.
I'm
Big.
just guessing.
Yeah, all the way.
Small, it's okay. I think we need to give up. But we have some blockers.
Over doesn't like give up.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a hand. we like still have showdown value. We still beat like ace X of hearts that doesn't have a pair. Like, we're actually still kind of middle of range-ish.
Yeah, but and then he just wants to bet for value against all his flush draws. I think it's just bet small.
I don't know about betting small. That seems kind of spewy.
Yeah, we still have 2 overs and a gutter, right? Like, I mean, we're still gonna have a lot of stuff. He has to defend
flop,
pretty
like,
wide.
we're supposed to bet the flop almost range, and two is more or less a brick. So I think we
Yeah.
need to continue to bet.
Yeah.
We would size up on a higher card. I suppose so. It's bet small again. Oh fuck no. The game can't proceed.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you
played
put
that
a
off.
0% action.
Perfect.
Okay.
Screwed up.
I have to deal a new hand. You broke it.
Oh man,
It's
I
my bad.
managed to broke it.
You broke the solver, Maxi.
Well,
We need-
I have skills.
They're calling for a dealer change.
Yeah, I shouldn't let you play.
I broke the Sunday million same yesterday.
You're breaking the code and everything.
Oh shit. Hmm.
Ugh, this
Yeah,
is so
you just-
bad. Fold.
No,
I
you call.
think maybe there will be some calling here.
We have to
Such
call
as-
20%. Let's go.
Oh, we picked up equity.
No, just fold, just fold, just fold.
No,
Oh,
No,
just go.
no.
The
I
nuts
have bad
Dominated
skills,
the whole
guys.
time.
There's so many great rivers for us, like a 10.
Opposite 10 as well or not? Yeah.
Let's forget this hand and move on.
So many great rivers, like one. Precisely
So,
one. Need to.
again,
need to
this
find the
kind
magic
of
card.
we just bet small like a previous board here. Look, we had similar one.
I think betting small is
Here
fine.
was. I think. Yeah, we bet large that time, so maybe even we can. Okay. Yeah. Oh, a 10. Let's put pressure.
Too late.
No.
This is good. This is not very good. Check it down, man.
This is not good for our range. It's not good for our hand.
Call.
Now,
We block
Call?
value with the 8 of spades.
Call.
Now check call because we block the straight and we block the.
No, can't call that.
Why not?
It's not a very relevant blocker for the straight. His straight is more like king jack than it is jack eight.
How do we only have 25% equity? What is this shit?
I don't know.
I mean, we have a bad hand, man. We have fourth pair on a trips board.
We have 10.
I need to play with that thing on because I thought we had a great hand. I think it's a
Dude, we
perfect tough catcher here. Maybe I'm stupid.
Dude, we have a, no,
We have the
no, it's not a bluff
spade.
catcher.
We block the
No.
straight.
No, it's fourth pair.
No, I fold also, man.
Jesus,
Oh,
guys,
Yes.
you guys,
I-
don't let this fucking solver win. Don't we have a great bluff catcher? We block the straight, we block the
No,
flush.
look, Louis.
Have a
100%.
pair.
100%.
We do not, in fact, have a good bluff catcher.
Look how much we raised with the
Oh.
backdoor.
I
Alright.
think we just call. It
Of
sucks,
course.
but I think we call.
Yeah, we have lots of equity.
Ooh.
And of course, we're dominated. We're dominated every time.
Bet big. 65.
I think you could stuff this one.
No,
I don't know if we should, but
No, that's.
kinda like it.
none of it.
Check. It's too cool to bet.
Oh, right. I know why, because it's actually a bad board for us. For some reason, I thought it was a bad board for him. But it's one of the best board for him, one of the board we check the most on. You wanna bet with pocket seven here or ace six?
Now we check and hope that he bluffs.
Yeah, I think so.
No. He's gonna check back. He called the bet, so he's not gonna stab it into a
But you
range
said
that
this is
he
bad
has.
board for us, so better for him.
We need to
Okay.
continue.
We're protected against the flush draw, so we can shove river.
I'm checking.
Oh my god.
100% check.
Easy.
And just
It's the same as the
all
one we just saw where the straight with the protection. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, because we're blocking the flush, our straight is so protected that we can check and let him improve, and we can shove river and he can call lighter.
Right, and he's very rarely gonna make the dominating flush if he has a dominating flush draw. Yep,
Yeah.
Well,
it's good.
check.
Small, that's small. Why would you check here?
of the board.
You don't care.
Check raise.
Yeah, it's a king's a decent check raise, check call,
Size up.
call,
Win. Easy game.
Got it.
easy game.
This is bad for him, yeah?
I think with a single card of the suit there with the high spade, we can bet small.
Yeah, I think we can stab. Yeah, and like in that case, he has like 2 live overs, so we got him to fold a fair bit equity.
We have the best hand, but it's super vulnerable.
We bet small or check
No,
raise.
no. This has gotta shove.
No way.
Yes.
It's the best hand, but it's super vulnerable.
I say bet small.
Get
These
it.
kind of boards, we have already two this kind of boards where we supposed to bet small.
Yeah, we have ace king of spades that we're shoving here. We have king jack. We have lots of stuff that's there.
We shove with overcards, not with two pair. We bet small with two pair. We bet small with six.
I haven't considered check raise, but okay, let's bet small. Oh yeah.
Small. Let's
Yeah.
go. I don't think we have much shove on queen 10-9. We saw it.
I think we do.
Open the tree. Yeah, open it. Open the tree.
I think it's only Jack 10, only Jack high
Yeah,
boards
that's
that
what
you
I
have for
think
the
as
shoves.
well. Only Jack 10.
Oh, queen jack as well.
Look at this, no shoving.
12%.
Call this man.
We need to go.
Oh, now we block value. The king is bad. Why would he shove a king? I say we call because I see his
Yeah.
range. He doesn't have kings.
He's pure bluffing. That's easy.
No, he doesn't have kings. That's right. I knew it.
He didn't have a king yet.
Jesus, it was pure folding. I'm too much of a calling station.
No.
So here.
I make calls that I think are good for the solver, but the solver doesn't even make them.
Even the solver's like, slow down, dude.
When you're looser than the solver, you know you've got a problem.
I think we check.
No, stop it with checking.
Yeah, just a range bet.
Because we're in the 3-bet, yeah, I forgot about that.
Big bet. Big
It's a
bet.
Jack 10 or Jack 9 that no.
Jack
no.
10 is shove.
Yeah. Now we just either bet small or bet big.
Bet big, yeah. Bet big is better.
Fault. Overbet.
Easy fold.
frisky overbet there. Ace queen.
Yeah.
No back to us, nothing.
That's small.
Check.
Check. You check.
Fold.
Fold.
We block value.
Fold.
No,
Yes.
why would you call here with fours?
'Cause you gotta call one pair once.
Cause you got
Yeah.
it, you got a hand. It's hard to make a
Not
pair,
on-
man.
It's weird because we had a note on this. On the A side board,
We overfold.
we fold the bottom, the under pairs.
This one might be helped by the fact that it has the backdoor straight draw. It's
Oh, yes.
it's thin, but the solver does like those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Check.
freeze would be fold. No, deuce would be fold.
I think we check here.
Yeah,
Definitely.
check.
Yeah, I don't wanna stab this.
And
Fold.
fold.
No,
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 fold,
he hits
fold,
the
fold.
jack. We need to fold. He hits the jack.
Yeah,
Once
he's
with
rivered
one
some,
small pair, that's not too crazy.
like,
Twice, oh my goodness.
All in.
Oh my goodness.
cause I guess in my mind, like, we called flop cause he can have hands like king jack. He rivers a pair then sometimes, so.
I thought I had a good grip on this spot, but the last 10 hands, I don't know, just punting.
Because I'm controlling. That's small.
Here's another big bet spot.
It's mixing.
Talk
Yeah,
about
you-
punting. Did you show that hand from yesterday yet?
Which one?
You said you're gonna show it last night when I hopped in and I was playing on the final table. You said you got mad and then you punted.
Yeah, definitely. It happened.
I pumped the sun in the middle and say yesterday.
You did? I can show you the
Yeah.
worst fun you've seen in a while.
Actually, I followed you, Louis, but suddenly I saw that you were knocked out.
Alright,
Yeah.
Too late.
Dude, worst punt, that's a